Hi, this video will focus on all of the mysterious and disturbing posts that I've covered so far. I'll exclude coverages on bodycam or dashcam footage. This video will only focus on events that are strictly related to the internet. I hope you enjoy this one, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It goes without saying that I don't condone or support anything in this video. The following is an educational and informative coverage. I want to give credit to this post here for summarizing some of the information. I'll be referring to this post and the comments from others under this post in the following. Also, fair warning, this is by far the darkest topic on 4chan. I haven't seen anything that even comes close. Around 2014, images began circulating around the web, showing a masked man playing and messing with the bodies of stillborn or miscarried fetuses. Some were also alive. I can't go too much into detail for obvious reasons, but it's actually unbelievably dark and horrifying. It's probably the darkest topic I've mentioned in this format so far. Originally, the images appeared on either 4chan or a now defunct forum website named Addict. In this image here, we can see that the man is probably around 5'11" and is wearing a gimp mask and surgical gloves. In most images, he's wearing scrubs or a dress shirt and dress shoes. My guess would be he's anywhere between 30 to 50 years old. From the photos, it's obvious that Dr. Glass has access to both living and passed away children, so he probably works in a hospital. Some people say he is a child mortician, but that wouldn't explain how he has access to living children as well. Overall, it's very odd that he has the opportunity to wear a mask like that and pose with the bodies in such a way. I can't really imagine a scenario where you would be able to do this in a hospital. His outfits also don't really add up. He's often wearing dress shirts and dress shoes. Why would you ever do that in a hospital if you were working as a nurse or physician? While all of this seems inconsistent, it is still believed that he worked in a hospital of some sort. In order to track down his location, people start to analyze objects within the images. Apparently, there are blankets which are unique to Florida, but there's information from others that Dr. Glass is actually in Los Angeles. The name badge allegedly gives away hospital location in LA. More to that shortly. Anons also uploaded pictures of the hospital's floor plans and the basement floor plan, and they resemble the pictures that were uploaded from Dr. Glass. Also, if you look at the images, they seem to be from different locations. OP claims that there are 3 different locations: the hospital, morgue, and an office. I'm honestly not sure yet what I'll show in the video, but I'd also say that there are at the very least 2 different locations visible in the images provided. And the office that OP mentions could also be Dr. Glass' home. There's an image where he holds up a tray and there are literally 3 brains on it. There's a name tag in one of the images, which is barely visible. It allegedly says Advin Valiance. OP claims that this must have been photoshopped or altered, because why would Dr. Glass go through the struggle of clearly hiding his identity and not taking off his name badge? He most likely had to leave it on and just photoshopped it later. Or he just exchanged his name badge with a fake one. Though after looking in the comments, someone says that the name Advin is accurate. Also looking at the image again, it doesn't really seem photoshopped. To add to this commenter also adds that Dr. Glass worked for Glendale Memorial Health Foundation. Allegedly, Dr. Glass is possibly Middle Eastern or Armenian. Most people lean to Armenian. In a different image, we can see a laptop from HP, which was released in 2014 and then discontinued. So it adds to the timeline I mentioned in the beginning. In the last image provided, we can see Dr. Glass in his office or home. This image is the most disturbing, so I can't show it here nor can I describe it. But it's definitely the strangest one out of everything. There's also a very interesting theory. In the image with the brains, this person seems to be a completely different person. This image resembles a woman, because she is wearing eye makeup, and if you compare their hands, the guy in the first image clearly has way more hair on his arm. So they are most likely different people doing the same thing. They could be a couple producing this type of content to then sell on the dark web or trade their images for similar images. It is assumed that one of them works in the hospital while the other works somewhere else. That's why they have a wide range of access. On the other hand, they could be working together in all of those locations. In some images, it also makes the impression that they may take photos from each other. This would maybe explain why they are able to pose in those photos and seemingly have a lot of freedom and space to do it. The hospitals may trust them because they're operating together and not alone. So they would always back each other and no one would suspect them of doing anything wrong. Though this is just a theory. It is also possible that the guy is just wearing eye makeup and is doing everything by himself. We now get to the most confusing aspect of all of this. Multiple people on 4chan were creating Discord servers trying to track him down. Some say that multiple Anons filed police and FBI reports, but nothing came out of it. The pictures allegedly didn't depict anything that would warrant a proper investigation. Trust me, in this video you have seen an even more censored version of these images than on Reddit. It's so much worse than what I showed. The uncensored versions are also all available on archive 4chan threads, and the FBI just doesn't care. Honestly, there is so much more info out there and so many other theories and possibilities, but as long as the FBI isn't convinced, I honestly have no idea what one can do. Whoever Dr. Glass is, he probably continues to this date, and there's nothing that we can do about it. On Reddit, someone shared a post on the Scare Theater subreddit reading, "In Lithuania, a 9-year-old girl was kidnapped 3 days ago. They suspected this guy making weird YouTube videos. The police said he wasn't the culprit, which a lot of people don't believe since his identity now is being hidden. And this is the video that was made a day before the crime. Mind you, he was filming in the same city where the kidnapping happened, and also uses a doll in the video, which might be subliminal messaging. Attached was a video, which has now been deleted by the channel owner itself. Actually, the entire channel has been deleted by themselves. As always, whenever I find a topic, I archive as much as possible. Therefore, let's go through certain things that were available. Taking a quick glance at the thumbnails, we see that there are multiple masked people and titles mentioning that it's a female mask, among other more explicit descriptions. OP talked about how there might be subliminal messaging going on in the videos. Before going deeper, let's have a look at the videos. As you can see in the footage, there are a few scenes where we can see two dolls. One looks like an adult, while the other depicts a child. A third person is posing next to the adult doll, and is never seen in the same frame as the child. Without the given context from OP, I would have just dismissed this channel as an art project or some sort of fetish. However, given the fact that merely days after this Reddit post the channel was deleted, makes it at least a bit more unlikely that this is just an art project or a stunt to garner attention. If it was merely for garnering a big audience, then you'd keep the channel up. The speculation that they might have to hide something doesn't seem that far-fetched anymore. OP added 2 more comments reading, "He also films a lot of his videos in a garage, and the abducted girl was found in a garage. And he has literally made a video called Female Possession equals Feeta Fox. Found a new news article about this. So the man's identity is set on the page, but in the news clip the police said they couldn't confirm nor deny that the man that was filming these Feeta Fox videos was the kidnapper or not. It was also said that he owned a lot of garages, which could explain the multiple videos of him being in garages. The strange part is that this article has also now been deleted, and there was no archive on Wayback, so I can't tell what it exactly said. There's a different article, however, which shows the guy behind the mask. I won't share his identity here, because while he might be somewhat suspicious, I haven't seen any hard evidence that this guy is behind this crime. Unfortunately, I don't speak the language, so I had to work with a translation, and from what I'm able to understand, the police seems to have immediately dismissed this person as a possible suspect. The article then just talks about how all of this seems to be some form of fetish, detailing that most videos are very explicit in nature, and that it might be harmful to children to view this content, and questions whether this content should be available on YouTube. Anyway, returning back to the videos, the guy wasn't exactly careful with what he showed. A lot of locations can be geolocated and multiple license plates were shown in the videos, so definitely wasn't a huge effort to identify this guy. There are Facebook pages that date back to 2018 and 2019. They didn't have much or any content on there. After the deletion of the channel, there were numerous channels created at the same time who were re-uploading the content of the channel. It's possible that it's the same guy re-uploading those, but it's also possible that it's someone else. Other channels are from years ago, and definitely seem to be from the guy himself. I might be missing crucial context here, but so far I haven't seen anything that convinces me of this guy actually being behind an abduction. However, there must be a reason why people in Lithuania believe this. If anyone in the audience has a better understanding of the situation, feel free to add additional context in the comments down below. The following will feature a very dark Facebook livestream. While Reggie Sharif Black, the man in the footage, seems rather calm and collected, he will seconds later do the unthinkable. To give context, Reggie Sharif Black ran a Facebook account named JBlack, where he started a livestream. In this livestream, it quickly became apparent that Reggie had taken the life of his former girlfriend Tara LeBang and is now in front of the house of his ex-wife.
I thought that I would be doing this, but I gotta make it quick. For everybody out there that supported me and really knows what's going on, thank you all. I've been going through a custody battle. I've been going through having my ex-wife say I'm my children and all kinds of craziness. Been fighting for custody for 3 years. You know, been real crazy. What's up, Oliver? You know about this. Going through it with my ex-wife, blah, blah, blah. So and start dating somebody new. She got pregnant. We got in a fight. First thing she does is threatening that she's going to do the same thing. You're never going to see your kids, blah, blah, blah. It's the holidays, man. I don't have no family, nothing. Anyway, I just did something crazy, man. I just shot my ex-girlfriend in the head, yo. Felt like a dream. Like, I never thought I would be that guy. I can't go to prison, so the person that really started my and all of this is my ex-wife. So she next, and then I'm going to do myself too. But I just wanted to say this to people. Don't play with people's emotions, man. Don't lie on these men. Oh, here's my ex-wife right here. Today's the day.
Wendy Natalie Black was fatally wounded, and Reggie didn't want to go to prison, so he ended it all. The two incidents happened in succession. According to investigators, he first was in Baltimore for the first incident, and then drove to Colombia. Both of the women and Reggie himself were nurses. He made his ex-wife responsible for his decisions. He was distraught over child custody issues with both women, but his ex-wife allegedly started his mental deterioration. The children remained safe during the entire thing. His ex-wife had even filed protective orders against him, claiming that he had threatened her numerous times. She also stated, quote, "I'm terrified because I don't know what he's capable of. I don't feel that I'm safe. I feel that my life is in danger." Her protective orders were denied. Mariusz Kosinski was a Polish YouTuber known for making metal songs, internet trolling, and creating his own religion called zombieism. This guy was beyond edgy, and definitely was in his Satanism phase. On January 10 last year, he took the life of his 63-year-old neighbor with a knife. 3 days before the crime, he published a song on his YouTube channel in which he insulted and wished for her death. He has over 200 videos on his YouTube channel, most of which feature music. He was very unsuccessful, which isn't really all that surprising considering that his music is pretty terrible.
Dobrym ludziom żony, by swoją miłość zatracili, wytrujmy swe uczucia, by robić zło i zabij wrogów, którzy nienawidzą Mariusza Gosińskiego piłą. Kamil Gosiński.
But even after the media attention, there are basically zero interactions with his social media channels. The comments on Instagram give us some insight as to why Mariusz did what he did. The rough translation reads, "It's no bars. The ignored psychopath Mariusz has finally done what I suspected. From 2 years ago, the star of an embarrassment from one of the Facebook groups. People set him up, a victim of their own paranoia and disease. I think someone might have used it. What most found funny, he took seriously. The end should be a life sentence. And way to go." And the other mother effers were egging him on, seeing what else he could do. This is how these stupid pathological games end. Outsiders understood that he was getting used by other internet trolls for their own entertainment. They wanted to see how far they could take their trolling. From what I've seen so far, it seems like the trolls managed to convince him to take the life of his neighbor for no real reason. Media articles state that there was no real motive behind his crime, even though Marius kept on posting very hateful content online, even doxing his neighbor many times. Marius kept calling himself a psychopath and a sadist. He described how he liked to abuse dogs and how he tormented his friend with Down syndrome. He says, "Even at my grandmother's funeral, I didn't cry at all. I just laughed straight into her coffin." Keep in mind that all of this had been going on for multiple years. People knew what type of person he was. No one in those internet communities took it seriously enough to get law enforcement involved. Some used him for their own personal entertainment. Others underestimated the severity of the situation. Marius now faces life in prison if he's declared sane. If not, he could face a way lighter punishment. We all have seen videos such as username 666 and other fake and staged YouTube videos, which at the time were pretty creepy. During this time, there were numerous attempts to create the creepiest video. Play02, now a lost media, was a video which was uploaded roughly a decade ago, somewhere in 2014 or 15, which was labeled as the creepiest video on YouTube. While this is currently lost media, I think the chances are quite high to find the original video. Through Wayback, we can find a YouTube channel named Mother8538, who has since been banned, and had 5 videos in total at the time of the snapshot. These videos always only had one single word in their title, like play, wait, think, punish, and play 2, which seemed to be a sequel to the first video found on the channel. The channel was sitting at only 23 subs, the videos gaining significantly more views than that, but overall, not really a whole lot. Play 2 had the least amount of views, sitting at only 73 views. While this is lost media, the video in itself remained available and online for a very long time, so there are some bits and pieces that we can find on different websites, namely Chinese websites such as Bilibili, a YouTube equivalent. So the hunt begins. Around December 31st, 2022 on Bilibili, a user named Wax Dripping Bear Off, which is probably a translation error, would upload an image of a baby doll with the title Mother8538 videos. Attached were 2 more images, one of a girl, and the other also seems like a girl but looks significantly creepier. The last thing the author wrote was 2 photos. The carpet in the picture with the baby doll is the exact same as a different image, which seemed to be the thumbnail of Play02, so these seem related. What we also know is that Play02 was also reposted on the Chinese website xbybyx, which seems to be owned by Bilibili or is at least similar to it. And there we can find the following video. I imagine that this is not actually related to the video we're looking for, and seems to be a generic video instead, but it's difficult to tell. However, there are 2 interesting things on this website. We have yet another image, which seems to be a real frame of the video in question. It's a person holding a lighter. Next to this image, there's text in Mandarin. The translation is quite rough, but it says, from YouTube user Mother8538, it's just a seemingly ordinary video that originally had very few views, but for some reason, it was included in the horror video and was included in the statistics as a penultimate number 1 in the number of views. However, due to the statistic, the number of video views soared. P.S. True, there is no work to bite the lighter. From the way I understand it, the video was initially not well known, thus had very little views, but after it got mentioned somewhere in some statistics, it probably means in a high score of creepiest videos, it soared, amassing a lot of views. There was a thread on Our Internet Mysteries, also talking about the subject matter, and they also mentioned a high score or ranking type of video from Watch Data, where they included Play02 as the creepiest video. In their video, we can see the same person holding the lighter, so it definitely is a frame of the original video, and Watch Data also adds, user Mother8538 gives the viewer a stark warning that the worst is yet to come, hinting that something disturbing is about to happen after they use the lighter. My question is, how was Watch Data able to find such an old video, which only had 77 views at the time of them making this ranking video? And why did the channel get banned after? Keep in mind that Watch Data uploaded this video on the 24th of October 2022, which was multiple years after Play02 was originally uploaded. In the archive, the video merely had 73 views, So approximately in 7 years, the video only gained 4 views, one of which was Watch Data himself. At the same time, Watch Data included many videos with very little views in their ranking. So I imagine they might have browsed through some old forums where stuff like this was discussed to compile their list. So it's possible that Watch Data might still have the video somewhere, or they at least know how to find it. However, in my research, apart from the things I just discussed, there was no additional information. According to the Reddit user, ManyReflection3215, they claim that this frame with the lidar was the thumbnail of the video. Reverse image searching yields no results. Currently, these are what we are left with. Some images that may or may not be related to Play02, and a Watch Data video, where they claim that this is the creepiest video on YouTube, showing what appears to be a thumbnail of Play02. It goes without saying that there's always the possibility that this is a hoax, so just putting it out there. If new information surfaces, I'll let you know. I initially stumbled upon this channel on the subreddit Internet Mysteries. On the 22nd of September 2010, a YouTube video titled Cactus Slap Mod was uploaded by a user that went by the name MadPapis1. The video would showcase a man slapping himself with a cactus on his face. I'm not sure I can show it here, but it doesn't even look that bad, though you could clearly see the spikes sticking on his face. He also provided no further context on this. At first, it may seem like another one of those challenges that are common on the platform. However, this wasn't the case. Another video with the title Left Behind Mod was uploaded on the same day and would showcase the same man, this time referred to as Matt, nailing his own foot to the skateboard. In the video, we can hear the person holding the camera asking Matt to stop. However, he wouldn't.
This is Matt Papis. He's going to nail his foot to a skateboard.
You filming?
I am filming. Why is he doing this? We do not know. Oh God. Don't do it, Matt.
The cameraman would then follow Matt, skating around the city with his foot still attached to the board. After skating for a while, the two men would forcefully remove the nail from the board, freeing Matt's foot.
Starting to bleed a little bit.
Oh.
Let me know when you're ready.
Just keep going.
Alright.
Is it all the way? Oh. It's not budging, dude. Hold on.
Keep your foot there. I'm gonna yank it.
The entire YouTube channel is filled with similar content centered around this type of self-torment. All of the videos were uploaded on the same day, and it seems that he performs all of these stunts without any anesthesia and while being completely sober. In another video, he uses a hammer once again to nail his foot. I obviously cannot show everything here because of its graphic nature, but it's still somehow available on YouTube after nearly 14 years. There seems to be no sensible reason for his actions. Some argue that he was just trying to seek attention, while others believe that he could be into masochism. In the final video titled Relativity, he places his hand on a hot, burning pan. I honestly can't make sense of why he's doing this, but it seems it's mostly for the camera or a mental illness. The channel has since been inactive, and to this date, we have no explanation or context on what exactly was happening in these videos.
So like, all your boyfriends up. F out of here. 180, just like Joey. F out of here. Just getting your weight. For real.
On March 15, 2023, a channel that goes by the name Mel White began uploading videos on the platform. While seemingly harmless in the beginning, the channel eventually became one of the darkest channels to ever exist on YouTube. Mel would initially upload random videos of himself, documenting his life as a homeless person.
For one night, you're all what happened now. For one night. Then you automatically have died in the hands of the one night. There's a problem.
For real. For real.
Put your face mask on.
Alright, put my face mask on. No, for real.
You all want to put your face mask on, dude?
Yeah.
Walked over there, started recording when I asked you to put it on. Twice.
Yeah, for real.
Put your face
Hey, stop recording.
Alright, okay.
I
Yeah,
don't want to be on your phone.
for real. No, I'm not recording, bro. Bro, niggas think I'm recording, bro, but I ain't recording, bro.
It becomes evident from other videos that Mikhail is definitely consuming substances and might be under the influence at most times. He also sometimes goes on rants in his own comment sections. Sometimes you can't even understand what he's trying to convey.
Good guy, you over there. Yo, it's Hut. It was a lot of people that meet me over there.
In later videos, we can see Mikhail finding an almost destroyed abandoned house where he continued to spend most of his time.
Yup. Exactly. Like stolen chips or something.
Mikhail, who was struggling with homelessness, seemed to have found a place to live. While the living conditions are definitely bad, there were some changes in his behavior. He stopped going on rants in his own comment sections and seemed overall happier than before. Though everything would get dramatically worse on April 4, 2023.
I'm off that motherfucking lane, bro. Bro, I got hands on my fucking fist, bro. For real. That's what you should be worried about.
Walk away.
That's what you should be worried about.
What?
That's what you should be worried about.
Walk away. You need.
That's what you should be worried about.
You're too young, man.
Yeah.
You're on that old man.
Yeah.
You're too young, man.
But look at this though. Yeah, look. And my voice turned white in one day.
Shit, man, the police-
And my voice turned white in one day. Honestly, where's Bonnie? Where's Bonnie? Where's Bonnie?
Mikhail would upload a video that abruptly starts in the middle of a scene where a bunch of people are asking him to walk away. While it's hard to make sense of what's happening without context, the context will be provided in Mikhail's very next video. The video shows him walking in the sideways of a road when suddenly, out of nowhere, he began harassing a random stranger.
And then he's waiting. And then he's waiting. And then he's waiting. And he's like, yeah. Hey, how you feel about people doing that, bro? With cray, let the kid over, get kitty. Tell that kitty to get out. Tell that kitty to get out. That kitty. Yeah. Hell yeah, that kitty. It's just a kitty somewhere. Just a kitty. Tell him to get out.
The man was trying to be polite and slowly walked away from Mikhail, but he'd go on to harass him repeatedly without any reason, eventually even getting physical.
Hey, sir. You can record this. You can record me to tell this girl to get that kitty out of my bad house.
How about you? Yeah, you record me.
I mean, this guy just cannot really fight, but I cannot show the entire thing here. A man would step in and attempted to stop the fight. However, it would only escalate the situation even further.
Get away from him.
Get away from what?
He's older than you.
Get away from who? Get away from who? What? What's up? He tried me, bro. He tried me, bro. Fuck, bro. He tried me, bro. He tried me, bro.
He do a fucking thing. He's trying to walk away from you. Keep your hands.
Yeah.
Walk away.
All right.
Walk away.
Yeah.
Walk the fuck away.
Yeah. All right.
Walk away.
Yeah.
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 Walk away.
Yeah. Yeah. He tried me, bro. He tried me, bro. He tried me, bro. Hell yeah.
Walk away.
For real. Yeah. For real.
I cannot show the full thing, but at one point the older gentleman fell down and Mikhail started kicking him. While this was already pretty disturbing, the following stuff is significantly worse. On April 8, 2023, Mikhail uploaded a video with a weird title, showcasing him violently beating an elderly homeless man who was residing in the same abandoned house he had discovered earlier. In the beginning, two other men can be seen with Mikhail inside the abandoned house. One of them is seated on a chair facing downward, while the other is in a separate room. Without any apparent reason, Mikhail enters the room and starts harassing the old man. Although initially confused, the elderly man quickly becomes the target of Mikhail's physical assault, reaching the point where he starts to bleed. I cannot show anything here due to its graphic nature. It was genuinely painful to watch how Mikhail continued to beat the elderly man relentlessly. towards the end, the old man just leaves and doesn't really react to anything Mikhail has to say. In the later part of the video, we can see some police officers standing right outside Mikhail's house, confronting him about the fight. Mikhail would blame everything on a cat.
Yeah, man, that guy, he need an ambulance. Yeah, he need an ambulance. He just, yeah, that kid.
Y'all get into a fight?
Nah.
What happened?
That cat, yeah, that cat. There's a cat over there. This cat crazy. There's a crazy cat over there.
Cat? What do you mean, like an actual cat or another?
No, there's a crazy cat over there.
Like an animal?
Yes, there's an animal. No, not no animal. There's a cat. There's a little cat, and he's crazy.
Okay. What happened? Did you?
There's a crazy cat over there. He's fighting people.
Okay.
Where?
Where'd he go?
He I don't know.
Did it get you? You got blood on your hand.
Yo,
Did it
for
get
real.
you?
Nah.
Well, how'd you get blood on your hand?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah, that kid, he got to me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
You and this guy fighting? Or
Nah.
just him and the cat? Did you get
Nah.
involved with it?
No.
Okay. All right. What's your name?
I'm just gonna.
I'm Mikhail. I'm Mikhail.
I'm just gonna step past you
Yeah.
real quick, okay? Cool.
Yeah.
It seems like he didn't face any consequences for his actions, as he wasn't arrested, and continued to upload more videos on his channel until April 17, 2023, when he abruptly stopped. Although the channel Mel White has since gone inactive, Mikhail still uploads videos on a different channel called Scrappy-chan. This implies that he is still roaming free, despite being an obvious danger to others.
Wenn du der Letzte wärst, dann liegst du unter der Erde und ich im Knast. Aber ganz ehrlich, dafür gehe ich in den Knast.
Rainer Winkler, better known under his YouTube username Drachenlord, is by far the most hated YouTuber in Germany, and probably on the entire platform. The following presentation will only focus on a few selected key aspects of his career, and not go into full detail, since this video would otherwise be 10 hours long, no exaggeration. Drachenlord grew up in Altschauerberg, Emskirchen, a location in Munich, Germany. This location will be very important later on. On his YouTube channel, he uploaded numerous dancing tutorial videos. The subsequent uploads weren't really doing him any favors.
Metal Leute, Servus und herzlich willkommen beim Drachenlord. What the fuck?
Already, nearly all of his viewers were haters. He would also stream on YouNow, a website with a rather bad reputation for numerous controversies, where he was surprisingly very successful, but for all of the wrong reasons. Anyway, there was one main interaction, which was built up throughout weeks on YouNow, where a person that went by Erdbärchen was pretending to be in a relationship with Drachenlord. What I'll tell you right now is very hard to believe if there was no footage to back it up. Within 2 weeks, they never met in real life, it was a purely online relationship, and after those 2 weeks, they both decided to stream on the platform. Knowing that Drachenlord's community consists full of haters, a lot of people warned him beforehand that this is likely just a setup, but to no avail. During the stream, Drachenlord asked her if she would be interested in marrying him.
Viele haben ja schon erraten, was ich fragen will, und es ist einfach im Prinzip ganz einfach. Ich sehe das momentan halt als extrem großen Liebesbeweis von meiner Süßen, von meiner Erdbeere. Also im Prinzip will ich dich hier live fragen, ob du mich heiraten willst. Nicht unbedingt der romantischste Antrag, aber ja.
Oh Mann. Ist das dein Ernst?
Ja, schon.
Und ich sollte jetzt eine Antwort drauf geben?
Prinzipiell hast du es ja schon getan. Es ist nur die Frage, ob du dazu stehst.
Okay. Also Rainer, du bist echt ein ganz besonderer Mensch.
While it was believed that Drachenlord just didn't fully understand that the only reason he got any attention was because of people hating him, we later understand that he relies on the money he generates with his online presence, thus endures the constant harassment both online, but also later in real life. To increase the attention and viewership for money, he used different types of strategies, which only fueled the hate. In one instance, there was a video shared on his channel by an alleged best friend of his, in which the claim is made that Drachenlord passed away. It was obviously fake and created by himself, but it brought in more attention. The next instance seems way more desperate. He uploaded adult films of himself on the internet. After a while, major news outlets started uploading documentaries about Drachenlord. After this, pretty much everyone that was somewhat invested into YouTube knew about him. While most of the hate focused mostly on his online persona before, he made one of the biggest mistakes in his life. He self-doxed himself in a video.
Ich weiß nicht, wer es war. Irgendjemand hat meine Schwester mit einer PC-Computerstimme angerufen und gemeint, pass auf, ich weiß, wo du wohnst. Wer auch immer das war, traut euch, kommt zu mir!
Numerous SWAT attacks were called in, one even during a livestream. However, one could consider this harmless compared to the events that followed. Multiple people were showing up at his house to harass him. Vandalism or attacks were fairly normal, and most of it was being recorded either by him or by his haters. I can't show some of the clips here because he's literally fighting with his haters, but there are endless occurrences of him and his haters on his yard. There were also bigger events, where hundreds of people went to his house.
Herr Müller! Herr Müller!
Now, more recently, there was one main incident, which brought in a lot of attention. Drachenlord was sentenced to 2 years in prison. He already had a probation before. He is being accused of insulting an officer and attacking 2 of his haters. After the sentencing, Drachenlord made a video saying that he disagrees with the sentence and plans on appealing the decision. Surprisingly, the decision was indeed overruled, and he remains a free man ever since. However, his old home was demolished, which caused Drachenlord to be homeless, but he got a large sum for the demolition. Interestingly, even the rubble from the house is being sold on eBay, at least according to various articles. The current information is that he's currently still homeless. He was also permanently banned off of YouTube and other major social media platforms, and to my understanding, doesn't have an online presence anymore. While most of his haters seem to be satisfied with him not having an online presence anymore and moved on, some are not. They are still trying to track him down in real life. Even to this day, there are numerous images or videos circulating on the web. You might sympathize with Drachenlord here based on these key and main events, but one needs to dig really deep to fully understand why the hate against him is this enormous. I think the situation is definitely unprecedented, and people that consumed a lot of Drachenlord's content will have a way bigger hate against him compared to people that just casually follow the events. Regardless, I guess after all of this, at least his neighbors are finally able to live a peaceful life, but it's unclear what will happen to Drachenlord. He's still able to sustain himself from the money he got for selling his house and from other revenue streams, but eventually he'll have nothing left. Elliot Rogers was a fairly small YouTuber for a very long time, but then was banned off the platform after a terrible incident. Elliot Rogers took the lives of 6 people in 2014. The reason why this particular case is very interesting is because he uploaded a bunch of videos on his YouTube channel, which shows his true intentions and basically serves as manifesto. There are a total of 21 videos on his channel, which obviously all have been deleted due to his ban. Luckily, archives exist. In videos like Being Lonely on Spring Break, he talks about how lonely he feels and that girls don't really care about him.
So many beautiful girls here, but none of them give me a chance, and I don't know why. Do everything I can to appear attractive to you. I'm sophisticated, I'm magnificent. I have a nice car, a BMW. I am the ultimate gentleman. And yet, you girls, you never give me a chance. These sunglasses here were $300, Giorgio Armani. So I'll put them on. See?
In the next one, he sits in his car stalking other couples on the beach and complaining about how he doesn't have a girlfriend himself.
In front of me, sitting right there on that bench, is a young couple. I presume about my age. I was enjoying such a nice view until they came and sat down and started kissing. Why does that guy get to have such a beautiful girlfriend while I'm all alone?
In his last video titled Elliot Rogers Retribution, he declares his quote-unquote retribution. He wants revenge for all of the years he had to endure the pain of being alone and being rejected by all women. Next to his videos, he also uploaded a manifesto in text form, which is still accessible online. Overall, he killed 6 people, injured 14, and took his own life. This topic here was very baffling. It's extremely mysterious, but I might have a possible explanation at the end. I'm unsure as to how much I'm able to show, so I will unfortunately have to work with frames of the original video instead of showing the entire thing. You'll soon understand why. Before we start, I'll have to give credit to the Taggart Realm for this one. It was honestly very difficult to find any information on this topic, and he covered this case in his format. I'll be referring to his video in the following. Dave Jeremy was a YouTube channel that posted a 48-second long video in 2020. The video is titled, Where She Is. In the video, we can see a guy holding up a missing person poster. It has the name and image of a person. It seems to be someone who goes by Deborah Watkins. After this, he sways his camera to the left and shows a shovel and dirt. He then places the poster on the dirt. The dirt looks wet. It looks like someone recently dug it up. He then goes closer to the poster, puts a dollar note on the paper, and backs off. On the dollar note, we can see a red sign, which looks very similar to the Zodiac Killer sign. Also considering the title of the video, which pretty much leaves no room for speculation. This guy seems to be the perpetrator of this girl. Looking for Deborah Watkins through regular search engines brings no results. Same applies to the channel name itself. That's also why I struggled quite a bit, and I couldn't find any info or any discussions in forums. Strangely, you need to use Wayback to find archived versions of a website where she is indeed listed as missing. At the same time this website went down, the entire Dave Jeremy channel was terminated. You normally need 3 strikes to be permanently banned off of YouTube. This channel only had 1 video. In normal circumstances, that would equal to only 1 strike. But this channel, like I said, was completely wiped off, so it doesn't really add up. There was another channel created with the exact same name and the same upload, but this channel was also swiftly banned. It makes you wonder, how does he keep getting banned so quickly? The guy wasn't even generating huge traffic. Then, an already existing channel named Tacit Blue re-uploaded the video and his entire channel got banned. So whoever re-uploads this video gets their entire channel taken down. I have no idea if all of the information that the Taggart Realm mentions is real, but if it is, then it's really strange. I definitely believe there was some police involvement in this, but more to that in a moment. One final thing we can see on the YouTube page is a banner. It's very difficult to decipher, but the Taggart Realm came up with a somewhat complete decipher, reading, "Somebody in this age. There were 4. When you think too hard, it makes the simplest things the most complex. No, break the illusion. Around. I won't return. But she needed it. If I come back to the public, everyone will for once know. No length of sentence means anything. My time has come." At the bottom of the note, we have a signature that looks pretty similar to the Zodiac sign. So here are my 2 cents. I reverse image search the image of the girl, and the girl is indeed missing, but the information in the video and on the website are false. I was redirected to the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. There we learn that this girl didn't go missing in 2020, but rather already in 2016. Also, the name is different. This girl's real name is Ashley Faith Suter, who was 16 years old and went missing in Montgomery County, Tennessee. If we compare all of that to the missing poster in the video, we quickly realize that most of the information is wrong. This either was done on purpose, or the information might just be outdated, or the guy behind this entire thing is just dumb and couldn't even do proper research for this tasteless ARG. Either way, it makes sense that the police would take down the website and take down YouTube videos spreading misinformation. The full video is probably blacklisted by YouTube to not give people the opportunity to re-upload it in order to decrease the likelihood of spreading information that would only cause more confusion. YouTube has been used in numerous cases for very nefarious reasons, often in ways that are difficult to track. The Elsa-gate or monkey-ate rabbit holes are just some examples that have received widespread attention. While I was doing research on a completely different topic, I found something seemingly very alarming. There are two playlists called baby torture. Upon closer inspection, the playlists were created by the same YouTube channel, someone who goes by John Doe. They have a third playlist called Baby Punished. Let's have a look at the first playlist. After glancing over the titles of some of the videos, we can see that the videos were uploaded by different channels, sometimes dating back to over a decade ago. While some of the titles reaffirm what this playlist should entail, if we actually check out some of these videos, there's nothing strange about it.
Audrey.
Though there are also videos covering what seems like parents taking the lives of their own child, or doctors being responsible for the disability of babies, etc. But those are only news outlets covering very dark subject matters, but nothing graphic or homemade. In the second playlist, it's much of the same, though most of these videos here are homemade. We see babies crying, sometimes for no reason, sometimes because they are hungry. Taking a look at the channel itself, we cannot find any uploads, but a staggering amount of playlists, all involving babies. It's unclear why they would dedicate such a large amount of time creating so many different playlists all involving babies. There are easily hundreds of playlists, some involving over 100 videos. Some have pretty inappropriate titles like we discussed earlier, but there are more, like this one called Naughty Babies or Babies Abused, including videos showing what seems like real abuse of someone holding their naked baby upside down in the air. In the grand scheme, however, the majority of playlists seem to be harmless, but the intention behind creating so many of these playlists is unknown. Also, there is a huge amount of views that have been generated by their playlists regarding baby torture, so there seems to be an interest in seeking and checking out this type of content. As for my opinion on this, I think while it is pretty strange and someone here seems overly obsessed with babies, it seems like a user that is using YouTube as a form of library, cataloging things they find interesting through the playlist function. They didn't expect their playlist to gain any traction, so they weren't careful with titling their playlist appropriately. Other sick individuals were seeking out this type of content, hence why there are a lot of views on these playlists. We cannot fully exclude whether the person running the channel is malicious or not. However, they themselves haven't uploaded any videos. Also, one last thing that I want to mention is that some of these playlists have hidden videos, meaning that those videos are no longer online or have been deleted by YouTube. This could be due to different reasons, including that it might have shown footage that was too graphic. This one was recommended by a viewer on my subreddit, and it's something that I've also previously seen and did my research into. I think some of you also saw this footage before. It's a very strange and very mysterious case. It dates back to 2012, and there's raw footage of 4 men getting casually executed at sea. The interesting part is that there is basically no information on this. Police don't know who did it, what their motives were, or who the victims are. Nearly a decade later, and their bodies remain untraceable. There's just no lead or any trace of anything. Well, until now. After a bit of digging, I managed to find a fairly recent article on this case, which unravels a lot of information. I'll mainly refer to an article from the Washington Post here, which gathered a lot of very interesting and new aspects on this case. In the footage, we can see helpless men in the open water, clinging to floating rubble, tossed by the ocean waves, and several large fishing ships circle around the men. None of the men in the water have life jackets, and no one makes a move to help them. One man in the water raises his arms over his head, palms open, in what looks like an attempt to surrender. Now, one man on the ship shouts in Mandarin, "Fire, fire, fire." One round of bullets catches one man and the water turns red. In total, they appear to fire 40 rounds. What's even more disgusting, the perpetrators start laughing and pose for photos. When I first saw the footage, it honestly felt completely surreal that such disgusting human beings even exist. Back then, I was extremely curious as to what the backstory to this whole ordeal is, but there were no answers. In total, 4 men were slaughtered like this in the open Indian Ocean. In 2020, authorities in Taiwan have arrested one of the suspects. a 43-year-old Chinese national who they believe is the man who shouted the orders to take one of the victims' life. The police now hopes that they can track the other suspects down. There are so many issues with crimes taking place on open sea. There were at least 4 longliner ships on the scene of the incident. There is no law that requires the witnesses to report the crime, so no one did. You might argue that it's common sense to report this, and you would be right, but these people have no consequences to fear, so they don't care. Also, if it weren't for a cell phone that was left in a taxi in Fiji, an island in Oceania, the authorities would have never known of this crime in the first place. Keep in mind that the footage was initially found in 2014, 2 years after the executions on sea. Without the cell phone, this would have been never known by anyone other than the perpetrators themselves, which is honestly very shocking. It is obvious that similar crimes happen frequently, without anyone taking notice or reporting the crime. Deckhands on the ship from which the video was shot told a private investigator, and later a documentary crew on camera, that they witnessed a similar slaughter a week before this incident. The ship itself was a Taiwanese flag ship called Pingshin 101. The captain at the time of the attack is a guy that goes by Wang Fengyu and has been arrested by prosecutors during the investigation. It's interesting as to how investigators identified the ship and the perpetrators. The ship in the footage was compared with images in a maritime database, pretty much confirming that it must be a Pingshin 101. The deckhands were identified through Facebook and other social media platforms where they had discussed their time on board. The same people then just revealed who the captain of the ship was. As for the victims, there are only theories. One theory is that the victims appear to be a part of a failed pirate attack. However, the claim of piracy has been used many times to justify the slaughter of people on open sea. A different theory entails that the victims might have been crew members who were disrespectful or in any way rebellious, thieves caught stealing, or rival fishermen. Whatever the reason might be, we need to keep in mind that all of these men did not pose a threat and were unarmed and defenseless. Also, why would they laugh and pose for photos after taking their lives? It just doesn't really add up. The very first video on this channel shows a guy, possibly under the influence of a substance. The title of the video reads, Effects of Datura. Funny stuff. Datura is a medical plant, used as a substance and abused for recreational reasons, primarily in the US. The guy seems to be really young.
Which
way did he go?
Oh, that hurt.
What the fuck?
Oh, that hurt.
What are you, an idiot? What are you, an idiot?
Oh, that hurt.
Uh-oh. Let's go.
The video begins with a woman face painting on the guy's face, while he seems to be in a disoriented state. It is followed by people laughing and making fun of him. According to a commenter, the guy behind the camera is his brother. Don't feel bad for this guy. I went to school with him. He's done things like this and even worse to other people. The guy recording him is his brother. It's pretty interesting to see him so vulnerable. The camera follows him for a while, eventually entering another room with a much older man lying there in a seemingly similar state, presumably implying they are having a party.
You alright, Jack? Buddy? Huh?
Jack, you okay? Huh?
See if I can get a good thing of this cut.
In total, there are 5 people in the video. It seems that they are family, and they often indulge in this activity. On May 7, 2010, the channel Noah Martin uploaded another video titled Morgellons disease. Morgellons is an extremely rare condition in which the patient believes that there are bugs and objects under their skin, when in reality there is nothing. While the video shows nothing clearly, from what I could make out, they are possibly cutting out pieces of the man's skin, thinking they are worms. Honestly, I cannot show anything of the video itself because it's way too graphic, so I'll leave it to your imagination. I warn you though, it's extremely disgusting, so I suggest against looking this up. In the video itself, you can hear another man talking who is performing the surgery. He believes they are pulling out worms when, in reality, they are just cutting out pieces of the man's skin. It is also important to note that the surgery is being performed at home, so they most likely have no professional background in this, which makes it even more dangerous. It honestly reminds me of that Russian YouTuber who began performing surgeries on himself, plucking out cameras from his eyes. If you haven't seen that, you can check it out in episode 9 of the disturbing part of the internet series. Other videos on the channel are more or less the same, with different people performing the more gallant surgery on Jack. If that isn't enough, what's worse is that they are performing the surgery without any anesthesia. The description of one of the videos reads, "We are using no anesthetic. This is a government conspiracy to depopulate the planet." If that's not already crazy enough, the video is even crazier, claiming that he has those worms under his skin because of chemtrails in the air.
Well, okay, hello to everyone out there in YouTube land. Here we are today gonna do some surgery on some Morgellons. They say Morgellons comes from chemtrails. It's some pretty nasty stuff. You pretty much need to leave this stuff alone unless you're ready to dig it all the way out with pretty much no anesthetic. And so for everyone's benefit, here we go.
It's unclear if all of the substance abuse made him think this way, or if he's just being misguided by his family. Maybe it's both. Or he just truly believes it.
Alright, hello everyone out there in YouTube land. Welcome to my nightmare. Tonight, we're going to be working on some Morgellons. Lesions, we're going to cut them out with no anesthetic. They say these things come from chemtrails, a bunch of aluminum and bioengineered organisms of all sorts, and barium and something else I can't remember. But anyway, they say that 80% of the population will test positive, whether they have the lesions or not. I guess we'll get started.
The final video on the channel was uploaded on December 7, 2012, which was another surgery video. After that, nobody heard from Jack or Noah Martin until very recently, when another channel that goes by the same name confirmed that Jack just recently passed away. On the surface, this other channel seems uninteresting, but I found some really bizarre comments. A user asks, "Recently a video came out about your first channel. There's a lot of speculation around what's happening in the videos and what happened after. I'm wondering if you could answer some questions some people have been asking." To which Noah Martin replied, "Hello, this is Noah Martin, and no, we never used substances. I performed all of the surgeries. Yes, Morgellons is real, but it wasn't Morgellons I was cutting out of Jack. It was living organisms that would almost scream as they came out." Another user asks, "So how did Jack die? Whatever became of the guy tripping on Datura?" To which Noah replied, "Jack died from organisms in the blood. Just type in llama 98579 on YouTube. I'll be making more surgery videos with another account. I couldn't find an account under that name. Though what this implies is that there may be more people in the family suffering from the same disease, which makes sense. They most likely delude each other in believing that this is real." In one of the comments, Noah himself confessed to performing surgeries on himself and cutting out organisms. It reads, "Hey man, this is Noah. All is well, I still cut these organisms out of my skin every day. Just imagine someone who is also deluded stumbles across these videos and gets convinced to make the same type of surgeries. According to some commenters, they seem to believe it." This one has been a huge topic on the German side of YouTube, and is easily the biggest downfall I've witnessed. Mois was one of the biggest YouTubers in Germany, amassing over 2 million followers on YouTube, over 3 million on TikTok, and over 1 million on Instagram. But all of those accounts have been banned due to his actions. His downfall is still continuing, and it's uncertain whether he will harm himself or others. He is currently fleeing countries, he is homeless, takes every possible drug he can find, is running away from police and other gang members, which he keeps insulting in his videos and Instagram stories.
Red nicht so viel, Bro. Zeig mich nicht an in jeder Stadt wie ein Ich dich, ich Salah, ich Salahs Vater mit diesem den ich gewähle. Alles, was ich will. Und ich werd's jetzt tun.
He's basically being pursued by everybody. Some want to kill him, or the police want to arrest him. He had a pretty long career and a lot of controversies, so it would take too long to discuss every single one of them. Instead, we'll focus on the most important and recent controversies. I'll be adding subtitles and translating everything since most of it is in German. Just for context, Moise was actually a hyper-successful YouTuber with insane growth, loved by the majority of people, and doing a lot of charitable things in his videos, similar to Mr. Beast. So it's extremely surprising how strong the contrast is to his actual self. The first few cracks in the career of Moise started around the end of 2020 and beginning of 2021. Moise made a video about a rapper named Usher, exposing him for lying about his identity, faking his passport, lying about his age and name, as well as religion. The most damning part, and there was a great emphasis on this, was that Usher isn't actually Chechen, but rather Polish.
Nach 12 Jahren Karriere sagt er zum Beispiel hier, halb Tschetschener, halb Ukrainer, wir haben miterlebt, deshalb nennt mich meine Mama Amir Israel. Und das ist das erste Mal, wo ich gedacht habe, Bro, aber der hat mir erzählt, Digga, sein Vater ist Tschetschener, seine Mutter ist Tschetschenerin, Digga. 6 Jahre lang war er in Tschetschenien, wie in diesem Interview erzählt.
Also bis 89 bist du in Tschetschenien, in Grozny geboren.
Ja.
Dann seid ihr mit, ja, warst du ungefähr 6 Jahre alt, 6 Jahre später, 95, bist du dann nach Deutschland gekommen.
Ja.
This video was completely meant to destroy not only the rapper's career, but also his life, since he was regularly engaging and interacting with Chechens, while he allegedly wasn't even a Chechen himself. Just for additional context, Moise himself is a Chechen. That's why he's putting a lot of emphasis on this. There aren't many Chechens in the world, so normally they take great pride in working and living together. Usher would make numerous songs talking about the struggles and wars of the Chechens, so his identity and career was basically tied to his alleged nationality. In the end, this video actually backfired quite heavily, since the rapper decided to make a diss track against Moise, which was received quite well. While the rapper was actually lying about a few things, and Moise was actually correct in some points, it didn't really damage his career all that much. But for the YouTuber Moise, this was only the start. On April 2023, one of his best friends named Maestro made a YouTube video, completely exposing Moise, claiming that he had been taken advantage of, not being paid for his work while he was working for Moise, claiming that Moise was consuming a lot of drugs, having psychotic episodes, and just overall lying a lot, insulting him and being untrustworthy.
Hat gesagt, ist der neue Prophet. Hat gesagt, ist Gott.
This wasn't an unprompted video, since Moise decided to make a song dissing Maestro for no real reason. After this, however, things started going downhill rather quickly. Moise gifted his YouTube channel with over 2 million subs to Maestro, even though Maestro never asked for it, and he also never accepted this gift. However, this led the channel to become very inactive, with the YouTuber Moise trying to grow other channels, but being pretty unsuccessful at doing so. His TikTok and Instagram were still going strong, so people assumed that he just diverted his attention to his other channels. This controversy eventually died down quite a bit, but Moise's reputation took a big hit. There was also another controversy of him receiving 100,000 euros in donations for the earthquake victims of Turkey, but he actually ended up not donating the money, but I won't be going into details here. Instead, we now get to the most recent controversy, him putting his wife through 7 years of abuse, beating her on numerous occasions, and in one instance almost killing her. This is very extensive and elaborate, so this won't be as detailed as it should be. It started off with rumors circulating that the wife of Moise has been cheating on him with a different rap artist named San Diego, who also had a wife himself. I know a lot of rappers are involved, but that's due to Moise constantly involving rappers in his content. Moise claims that San Diego was his best friend at the time, so it basically crushed him even more to learn that he allegedly had an affair with his wife. So far, there hasn't been concrete proof of this actually being true, with the only real proof provided being a video recorded of San Diego's ex-wife filming the wife of Moise with the rapper.
Mit wem seid ihr hier? Mit wem bist du?
Moise was going on a rampage on social media, making over 300 Instagram stories per day, mostly just reposting his fans, but also others that were insulting his wife for allegedly cheating on him. Moise himself also made videos against her, further ruining her reputation and pretending to be the actual victim. Eventually though, it reached a point where his ex-wife made a very long statement, detailing that she had been in an abusive relationship for 7 years. It's a lot that she talks about, so I won't go through every single point, but there are some key aspects. She was getting abused by the mother of Moise, who was living in the same household. According to her, she was being held captive in the house. She wasn't allowed to call her own parents for 3 full years. She was regularly getting beaten up by Moise, and in one instance, she almost got killed by him. She attached some pictures as proof and sounded very trustworthy, but critically analyzing these, there was no context behind the images. so it wasn't 100% proven whether these claims were true or not. However, these claims were quickly confirmed by Mois himself, saying that she can be glad that he didn't end up killing her, having his usual outrage.
Ich habe sie geschlagen und ich bin Gott dankbar, dass ich sie nicht getötet habe, versteht ihr mich? Aber ich habe es nicht getan, weil ich mich kontrolliere. Aber es ist schwer, sich zu kontrollieren, verstehst du? Darum laufe ich von mir selber weg. Versteht ihr das? Und die hat meine Kinder weggenommen. Mit einem dreckigen... Und die haben mir meine Kinder 13 Monate nicht gezeigt. Und mein Essen gegessen. Verstehst du das? Ich habe meine Miete nicht bezahlt, damit sie das haben kann. Jetzt sitzt dieser da und erzählt, ich hatte blaues Auge. Freut dich, dass du nicht tot bist, Kappa!
During this entire ordeal, he was constantly insulting her on social media, even leaking what looked like revenge porn, claiming that he even has a sex tape with her, which he plans on leaking. At this point, the rapper San Diego also made a statement, saying that he was misled by Mois and cut off his friends and colleagues because of him, and that he never had an affair with Mois' wife, which led to the following video from Mois.
Dass deine Mutter eine wissen, also so, natürlich nicht. Es war alles nur Satire. Ich suche dich schon sehr lange. Ich will mit dir einen Podcast drehen. Drehen wir einen Podcast? Du wiegst wie mein linkes Ei, Bro. Ich hab mit meinem Loch gezogen. Red nicht so viel, Bro. Zeig mich nicht an in jeder Stadt wie ein Ich dich, ich Salas Vater mit diesem den ich gewedle. Alles, was ich will. Und ich werd's jetzt tun. Und du kleine... Tu nicht so vor kleinen Kindern im Internet auf Klasse. Für dieses eine Mal meine Frau anschauen, du Sohn. Egal wie du dich vermarktest, du ich jeden deine... Egal welche Abstammung sie sind und mach aus ihnen Jüdinnen! Hadiden! Egal wo du bist, ich finde dich, Sohn. Egal was du postest, lösch mich, egal wie oft du willst. Ich, deine Mutter, vor dir. Okay? Sohn. Und dafür gebe ich meine Seele auf. Ich bin Shaitans Vater. Hadid an. Ich jage dich, egal wo du bist. Egal mit wem du auf korrekt hier redest. Ich rede nur zu dir. Wolltest du fühlen, wie sie sich anfühlt, Digga? Wie sich anfühlt? Hadid an. Wenn ich Anis nicht 100.000 Mal an solche opfern würde, um deine Musik wegzunehmen.
For context, San Diego is a Jew, and Mois kept on insulting him because of it, which, if you're familiar with Germany, is being punished quite heavily, so he had to flee the country because multiple people report him to the police, and they were obviously looking for him in order to arrest him. Currently, it's unclear where he is. He's basically in a new country every few days, some speculating that he might be in Mexico right now or in Italy. He's homeless, doesn't have any wealth, since he lost all of his money that he made from his YouTube career, which should have easily been in the multi-millions. He's having a psychotic episode and is fueling it by consuming every drug he can find. He even asked for donations to buy even more, and people keep on donating. His IG stories and overall content is also now in English.
I'm normally a father of children and this. I was never like this, you know, I never lived like this. You know, I had normal home, stable income, man.
It's difficult to understand him at times, but I guess his strategy here is to shift towards a more international audience, with the hopes of having a career again. I've only talked about maybe 5% of the information available, and this is such a crazy case, it's almost unbelievable. Someone who had such a good reputation and was liked by so many for so many years, constantly showing off in his videos as his Mr. Beast type figure who was donating so many things to others, and going from that to this complete maniac with a really toxic private life, betraying everybody, getting hooked on drugs, ruining his entire life, almost killing his wife, threatening to even kill his own children, and ending up homeless was shocking to everybody. On the subreddit Internet Mysteries, a now deleted user made a post about a channel named Garzuela, which they suspect is tied to human trafficking. They claim they found this channel by accident. There are in fact two channels posting very similar content, presumably from the same owner, which goes by Creston Theater. On the channel itself, we can see that it has been abandoned for over a decade now, with the most recent videos dating back to over 10 years ago. The titles include characters in Arabic. The videos seem largely uninteresting at first, just featuring someone filming the people and street. The titles seem to include the date of recording. It seems to follow the structure of the Islamic calendar, hence why it says 1432-22. Converted to our date, it will be sometime in 2011. If we take a look at the most viewed videos on this channel, things start to get significantly more disturbing. And these videos always feature a girl, and you can hear her talking to what appears to be her dad.
Oh, I got 55 and no math ones.
55 what? That was from that one day. This is like green and turquoise day.
Some videos have the comments disabled, which may have not been the choice of the uploader, but rather YouTube stepping in and closing the comment sections. On other videos, the comments are available, and as you'd expect, it's filled with predators. Comments like, "I can sleep with you," or "Hello my love, you're very pretty." Both comments coming from the same user. Multiple others also added that they find her beautiful. Here's one asking for her Instagram. One more here, from someone asking, "Anything better through email?" Basically asking for CP. One of the most concerning ones is a comment thread, reading, "To enjoy all night." How? In the bed. Really? Yes. You know it's naughty. Yes, it's real. What follows is a bunch of comments from the same user, asking for the telegram of someone else, seemingly being successful in exchanging information, but the messages of the other users are all deleted. Returning back to the videos. The living conditions displayed in these videos don't seem to be the best, with videos featuring rubbish on the floor and a lack of furniture in the rooms. In the same video, we can see what appears to be her dad. The interactions with his daughter all seem friendly. The Redditor claims that this could be someone who trafficked this child, but I haven't really seen any form of evidence or arguments that would suggest that. Every interaction that I've seen on those videos was very friendly. He never had a conflict with his daughter, and his daughter also never seemed to feel uncomfortable. Though there's a bit more to the story.
Hi, my name is Kurt. I play a father on YouTube.com. I've been raising a child as a character on YouTube, but in real life I'm also raising a child. But we could use your funds. I haven't opened up a PayPal account, or maybe we could just use your prayers. I'm kind of in the middle of the show right here. Anyway,
This was pretty difficult to understand. It almost feels like he's ashamed of even doing this video. But from what I was able to gather, is that his name is Kurt, and he's asking for donations through his PayPal. He seems to struggle with raising his child, and from the living conditions that we looked into previously, it makes sense that he seems to be out of money. In other videos, we can hear that the man is a Muslim.
tomorrow I only got one more day to upload videos this week. I think I can get them all in one day if I get there early enough. Inshallah. That means Allah willing.
This brings us to his blog, which contains very detailed information about his mental state and life. The following will discuss information that he himself publicly shared on his public website. We learn that the child's name is Star. Kurt converted to Islam, but is from a Mormon family, which caused tensions between them. We can see videos of Kurt praying. There are also numerous videos on the Crescent Theater channel, where his daughter is also wearing the hijab.
Hi guys, I put a different hijab. Okay.
I won't be going through all of the blog posts here, because it's simply too much, and feels like he's ranting at times, repeating the same things over and over again, but in his very last post from October 2017, he says the following. Okay, so the battle between extended family kidnappers, my mom, and stepdad, but I wish he was dead. And then the ex-wife kidnapper family of 10 plus 12 more cousins, many of whom were robbed from other divorced spouses. And I'm just still sitting here, waiting in Peru 4.5 years later of not seeing my daughter, since I don't have a kidnapper team like them. So he seems to have lost custody over his daughter. Overall, he seems to be in a constant conflict with the family of his ex-wife and his own family. He doesn't seem to have access to his daughter any longer. Kurt also frequently says that he wants to have control of the daughter, which seems very important to him. Also claiming in other posts that his ex-wife is schizophrenic and is insulting her numerous times, claiming that she wants to take control over him and his daughter. It's honestly difficult to tell what's going on at times. If he's always telling the truth in his posts, it feels like his ex-wife and family are trying to trick him into doing something which will cause him to lose custody of the child. At the same time, there are so many unhinged rants in here, and he also frequently talks about conspiracy stuff in his YouTube videos, so it might be him having a mental breakdown in these rants. One of them reading, "If I see any of your brothers and sisters before I see Star, I will kill them. I'm going to visit that neighborhood more often, it's very close to me. You've done this to me long enough. I chose to go. It was my choice. No one stops saying that. I will kill them. Even after I get Star back. If I see them, I will kill them. There's no justice otherwise. There's too much information, so it's impossible for me to cover it all. But there are even Tumblr posts, which are allegedly from him, and he also threatens people there with their lies. It goes even further, with him having an IG account, where his mental state seems to deteriorate even further, his rants and descriptions being more unhinged than his videos.
No one's ever said that when my daughter was 10 or 11 or 12 years old and they enticed her with an iPhone to give up her father for an iPhone, just don't think about him, don't talk about him. Here's your iPhone. That was okay. She didn't have any parental control. She had unlimited access to the internet. She could do anything she wanted. She made YouTube videos. She did anything. Now she's 16, so they're tightening the grip. She's like barely exists on the internet. Her mother's like controlling her Instagram. She isn't even really online. That's just her mother changing the pictures on her Instagram like a psychotic witch.
His newest post on IG was from December 2021. However, Kurt is actually active to this date on new accounts. There's a YouTube channel named Star Gunnerman and a TikTok page named Oman Trade School. He seems even more unhinged than before, most of his content consisting of rants, conspiracy stuff and violence, mostly expressed through writings rather than videos. With him seemingly losing custody of his daughter, and him not being in contact with his previous family and ex-wife, I think there's basically nothing more to it. He could be a danger to himself, but so far, nothing seemed to have happened. First and foremost, please do not harass anyone I mention in this or any other video on my channel. I have to give credit to Johnny the Night Guard for this one. He covered a YouTube channel called ValleyBoy75, a self-proclaimed future filmmaker animator. This channel in itself isn't even that interesting. It honestly makes the impression of an art project, but I'm not entirely convinced. It's due to two other channels that he runs, which definitely don't seem to be art projects. One is called Timothy Damitz, which is also the real name of this guy, and another one is TD Damitz. These channels are mainly about his religious beliefs. There's generally a bigger incentive on the Armageddon and apocalypse.
I believe Armageddon essentially is when mankind wages war against God. That is just bizarre. Imagine mankind, even if you got 5 billion people on this earth waging war against God. I don't know. That seems like it's very stupid.
He says that it's merely his opinion and stuff, so it really makes the impression that this is not fake or an ARG, but rather honest content. Only reason I'm showing this is to make sure you understand that there might be a bigger motivation or intention behind the following clip. One video in particular on this channel is pretty odd and terrifying. It's called Pennsylvania Pig Puncture, TVS, Season 8, Episode 6.
While I clean this off, I'm going to show you a video that I call Pennsylvania Pig Puncture.
Stop!
You can also tell from the comments that people are genuinely confused. It doesn't make any sense. It just randomly cuts to the footage with the pig. This video is also still online on his channel for whatever reason. In the entirety of this video, you can see him and seemingly his family hanging out. The video itself seems to include older footage, if we compare how he looked in those compared to now. As for his ValleyBoy75 channel, Timothy uses a puppet, which he named Fluffed, and was trying to scare people, I guess.
I just want you guys all to know I see you and you and you.
I mean, yeah, it's like obviously cringy, like not gonna lie, but the pig puncture video is definitely the most terrifying thing I was able to witness on his channel. I previously covered this case, but it's fairly unknown and super disturbing, and not everyone is watching every single video of mine, so I think it makes sense to cover it again. This one was recommended by a viewer on my subreddit. The post reads, Russian digs out a camera out of his eye on YouTube. It's a channel of a Russian who believes he has cameras in his eyes. In 2 of his videos that are public on YouTube, he tears into one of his eyes with various tools, tweezers and syringes, and pulls out the sclera of his left eye piece by piece. The disturbing part is how calm he is about the whole ordeal, or how you can hear a small kid in the background, meaning this man probably has a family to care for. Trigger warning, this is some seriously stomach-churning stuff. He definitely wasn't exaggerating. The video is super graphic, it's completely insane. I definitely cannot show it here in this video. He's basically pulling bits of eye out. I don't understand the language, but it seems to be a man struggling with his mental state and seems somewhat paranoid. He is convinced that there are cameras in his eye and tries to dig them out. In his newer videos, we can see that his eyes are healthy, so he somehow didn't cause permanent damage to his eyes. He has a VK account and the description of his profile reads, I can't stand how it fries my eyes, and this stone is what my eyes are ready to arc out of my native place. Someone please help me. That's a very rough translation, but you can clearly tell how much he is struggling mentally and how much he believes that there are cameras in his eyes. On 2CH, one of the largest Japanese forums back then, someone shared a lot more on this person. Here's a rough translation. It reads, a Ren TV lover from Perm named Alam worked as a Cerberus guard until he went nuts. Everywhere he began to imagine agents of the State Department who tried in every possible way to track down the Permian in order to give it to aliens who would conduct experiments on him until the end of his life. The guy began to think that microchips and cameras were built into his eyes, so he went to extreme measures and cut them in order to get rid of cyber surveillance. He pulled out of his top layer of cornea without painkillers. He told about all this on his page. The YouTuber uploads to this date. Just 3 months ago he did a livestream. I think his environment is aware of all of this, but they seemingly cannot help him. I also made a video on 10 of the worst and most disgusting YouTubers. Click here to see it. And please sub to the channel, which is completely for free and you can always change your mind later. So this channel and its content has now been banned off of YouTube after I covered it. So thanks to everyone for reporting it, but the context of those videos are very disturbing. You were able to see cat videos that definitely felt odd. After doing some more research, I understood that the videos on the channel didn't depict the full version. Instead, we only see one segment of the full videos. We see the part prior to the torment of these cats. And this is to circumvent the deletion of the video or a possible takedown of the entire channel. This worked for the YouTuber for a few years actually, but after my coverage in the Disturbing Part episode 9 format, the channel received mass reports, causing the channel to get terminated. In one of the latest uploads, we were able to see a cat in a cage. After a few seconds, the uploader decided to show an image of the cat. This goes on for the majority of the video. Near the end, it cuts back to the footage. The cat now looks very different from the image and the previous footage shown. The fur suddenly was black. Just looking at the footage without the audio, you might have not been able to guess what happened. However, the audio pretty much reveals what caused the dramatic change in appearance. While I won't play the audio here, you can hear a blowtorch in the background. The description of this video reads, "Provided Gato, thank you." While you can only hear a blowtorch in the video, it's confirmed that the blowtorch was used to burn the cat alive. In total, the lives of 13 cats were taken this way. 52-year-old Makoto Oya is the perpetrator. He shared videos of him doing this for 13 months before he was arrested. The footage is very graphic, hence the cut version on YouTube. During the first stages of trial, Makoto would argue that it shouldn't be a crime to take the lives of these cats, since he was only quote-unquote carrying out a pest control. More specifically, he said, "The excrement and urine of cats stinks. Their nails are sharpened to injure. I don't recognize the extermination of harmful animals to be a violation of the law." So basically, he doesn't regret anything, and he was only sentenced to nearly 2 years and probably only served 1. This YouTube channel here is just one of many that share similar or identical content here on YouTube. These people are also on Japanese forums like 5CH, but it's just too difficult to research when you don't speak the language, so I'll stop here. This one's a bigger rabbit hole, and only received a bit of traction in the last few days. Before I start with this segment, I just want to state that the entire following section is purely based on speculations and theories collected by multiple anonymous people. I also share my insight based on what I was able to see on the website. Please do not harass any individual that is being discussed in this video. On the subreddit Internet Mysteries, someone shared the following. Weird YouTube ad called Teen or Take. Anyone else seen or heard of this? So about a year ago, I was watching YouTube while doing chores and didn't want to get to the remote to skip an ad, so I let it play. It was this weird old man talking about his new website, Teen or Take. It was supposed to be for rating teachers, but it looks so unprofessional and sketchy, and I doubt that's what it's actually for. I just looked it up again, so I'll include a link. Cannot find the YouTube channel he used to have up, where he posted more videos about his website. Did anyone else get this ad and wondered what the heck it was? Just really bizarre, and I feel like it could be a cover-up for something, but who knows. To fully understand why this Reddit user thinks there might be something more going on, we should take a look at the YouTube ad they saw. Well, more specifically, we should take a look at the Teen or Take YouTube channels. The videos are mostly the same, so it's sufficient to watch one of them.
Today I want to go through the sports poll or the sports questionnaire on teenortake.com. I'm on the index page of teenortake.com. There is how you spell Teen or Take. When I'm on the index page, we're signing in with our email address and password. So we just log in. Here we are on the entry page. Remember, on the entry page you have a link here.
So we have a guy who seems to be in his 50s or 60s explaining how to use his website. In the background we can see people being filmed. This or a variation of this video is what people saw as a YouTube ad. While this doesn't seem that fishy or unordinary, your impression might change when you take a look at the thumbnails of his videos. They look like creep shots. We can mostly see teenagers who are wearing short clothes and who are filmed near their school or university. Looking up the locations we see in some of the videos on Google Maps, it becomes apparent that he was filming in the University Boulevard in Tucson, Arizona. And some of the people that can be seen in these videos are students, and some of them definitely underage. There's another channel called Teen or Take Topics, which shows way more footage in the background of the videos. Let's have a look.
Recently, President Trump saved about 800 to 1,000 carrier air conditioning jobs from being outsourced to another country. I would like to look at what would have happened had those jobs been outsourced. So let's say he didn't save the jobs of these hardworking individuals. He didn't save their jobs got outsourced. All right, number one, or any company that outsources, the board of directors, the owners, the stockholders elected to reduce the cost of those air conditioners to $1,500. So we save $200 because they're outsourced, saving on labor.
He's basically driving around and filming teenagers. Combined with the somewhat purposefully chosen thumbnails, it gives off a bad impression. But I don't want to jump to conclusions just yet. It's always tempting to form an opinion based on a few things that you see, but this could be very harmless, and the guy might not really understand what he's doing. Well, with the following information, this impression might be inaccurate. His website somewhat shows how calculated he is. He seems to be exactly aware of what he's doing, and he seems to follow a specific goal. Let's talk about the actual website. The website Teen or Take states that this website basically functions as a social media site, where you can express yourself freely and communicate with like-minded individuals. Another important aspect is that the website wants you to grade your teachers, high school, university or college, and everything else school-related. The main demographic that this website wants to attract are students aged between 13 to 22. While the website layout looks somewhat off with the pictures next to the text, it seems fairly harmless on first glance. After a bit of clicking around, we'll get to this section of the website. This part of the website is extremely elaborate and it's all about data. They are very transparent as to which type of information or data will be collected. They will collect the following information: first and last name, email address, sex, date of birth, current city you live in, hometown, relationship status, about me, whatever you want to say about yourself, profile picture, maybe of yourself, other pictures and picture notes that goes with them, takes, whatever you wish to type in concerning, TV, movies, music, takes on sports, takes on fashion clothes, notes and pictures you may post on the board of a mutual person of interest, private notes and pictures you may send to a mutual person of interest, update notes and pictures you may send to all your mutual persons of interest at one time. And this seems to be only a small part of the data collection. It's odd to collect this much data from teenagers, so how are they gonna use it? Well, towards the end of this website, they shared the following: how TeenerTake uses your personally identifiable information. TeenerTake will use the information it receives about you to help determine how to best distribute information and suggestions, place ads if we ever get any, and further develop the website. TeenerTake will not share the information we have about you with anyone unless one of the following conditions exist. We remove the connection between the information and your identity. You give us your permission. TeenerTake gives you notice. To somewhat comfort the user whose data is gonna get harvested, they also share the following: TeenerTake.com does not engage in online activity tracking of its users and other parties on TeenerTake.com, and does not engage in online activity tracking of its users over time and across different websites when a user uses TeenerTake.com. While all of this sounds somewhat professional and realistic, we need to keep in mind that this website is targeted towards teens specifically. A huge amount of their data is getting harvested once they log into the website. The website owner bought ads through Google AdSense, and his ads were running on YouTube videos. He probably earned a larger sum of money through selling data to be able to run the ads in the first place. While you could just argue that this guy is trying to make money through morally questionable reasons, this becomes a bit more shady with the following information. I already talked about the YouTube videos, and I said you could argue that these are mostly harmless. But what about the metadata of these videos? On YouTube you can add a title, a description and tags to your video. Looking at the title and descriptions, you won't find anything too interesting. But what about the tags? Well, this is a part where I really felt like my initial suspicions were confirmed. On one of the videos on the TeenerTake YouTube channel, the tags read: social, teenager, great teachers, young, girls, guys, teen, TeenerTake, Facebook, sexy, high school, nude, topless, college, chat room. You'll see the same few tags used in pretty much all of his videos. Take these tags, the creep shots used as thumbnails, and the overall creepy footage taken from teenagers who are wearing short clothing, and you'll have a very shady looking YouTube channel. His exact intentions, I have no idea. If he's only trying to harvest data to make money, why use these thumbnails, this footage of teenagers, and these tags? It makes sense to assume that he's selling this data to make money, since he was able to run YouTube ads, but is there more to it? This topic seems to be something that has been going on for a while. 8 months ago, someone created a subreddit called TeenerTake for, quote, investigating the mysterious and creepy website TeenerTake. This subreddit contains posts from people who have mostly stumbled upon this topic through the YouTube ads. Most of them claim that this website is used to harvest data in order to actually traffic people, since the information that the website asks from you is very specific and would make it very easy to identify you if you were to give out your real information. And someone even shared the full docs of the owner of the website on the subreddit, but I won't show it here for obvious reasons. Lastly, someone actually messaged the owner and even got a reply through mail. This back and forth might actually be even more significant than it might appear at first glance. In this mail, they also mention way more stuff that I didn't even mention so far. There's even more explicit stuff on the website that I didn't go into. Let me read out the entire interaction. Hello. A few people have gotten ads on YouTube advertising your website. Just by taking a quick glance at it, they already figured out that there's something more going on. The overall low quality presentation, the fact that some image file names are named stuff like head freckled cutie and hottie in a chair, the fact that it asks questions like which one of your classmates is hotter, the insane amount of personal info you collect from your users, so on and so forth. It just comes off as really weird and creepy, especially coming from a 60-plus-year-old man. Someone made a subreddit dedicated to investigating your suspicious website, and people have made plenty of discoveries. In case you're reading this, I'd appreciate some answers. Then the owner replied with the following. Answers? There were no questions in your email. It was basically what you thought of my website. The website's been up for years. The subreddit thingy, whatever that is years old too. I have about 13 videos on YouTube that explain and demonstrate how to use the website. It's all public and has been for years. Thanks. The owner seems to be fully aware and conscious about what he's doing. He says he's been running this website for 13 years already with the same intentions. Like I said in the beginning, I'm not accusing anyone of doing anything. I just look at the information that is provided and that he himself shared with others. To this date, this topic remains somewhat mysterious and the exact intentions of the owner unknown. Marie Ann Oliver Snow, or Snow the Soul Queen, or also known as Yandere Freak, was a TikToker with roughly 1.5 million followers. She was well known for cosplaying, but obviously also for something way more sinister. I think cosplaying as a term is familiar to most of you, but let me still give an explanation. When people dress up in costumes and or use makeup to represent characters from anime, manga, video games or movies. Usually they not only look like the characters, they also try to imitate them. She would make numerous TikToks dressed up in some of these characters, mostly from what I can tell, anime or movies, but I'm by no means an expert nor does it really matter. Coming to the dark part of her story. She and a friend of hers traveled to Texas. There, they were filming TikToks at a graveyard, pretty much dancing on the graves and being overall extremely disrespectful. As a reaction to the backlash she received, she said that she had permission to film there, not really understanding why it could be morally wrong to do what she did. Also, contrary to what she claimed, the cemetery superintendent wrote this message, pretty much denying that she had any permission, and that he would be willing to take legal action to the fullest extent if she ever showed up there again. Well, Snow couldn't care less about the backlash. She went out of her way to mock the entire situation even further. She also started a GoFundMe, allegedly for sick kittens, but just used the money for herself, which is obviously illegal, since it is fraud. Anyway, let's fast forward to the 17th of January 2021. A girl named Helen, 5 other friends, and Snow were at their apartment. They were drinking quite a lot. Snow was also smoking weed as well. Snow and one of the friends were in the garage, where she found a pistol from one of their ex-boyfriends. I think you know where this is going. And she took it with her to the room. There, all of them were watching a movie, and Snow came up with the idea to pull it out and mess with it. One of the friends told her to use it on her, and Snow raised it on her head, but quickly lowered it again. Helen wanted to join in and asked Snow to do the same to her. So Snow aimed at her, but this time actually pulled the trigger. And unfortunately, it worked. After police arrived, Snow and her friends claimed that they didn't know it was loaded. At the hospital, Helen barely survived, but there was almost no brain activity, which caused her to pass away 2 days later. Now the crazy part is that Snow just continued posting on TikTok as if nothing happened, and in Helen's college, no one knew the true circumstances of her passing. Honestly, this would have been a perfect entry in my disgusting banned TikTok users video, because the TikToks she posted after taking Helen's life are super disgusting.
We've got to hide the body! There's no cheese and crackers in prison, Gromit.
Will you help me hide a body? I'm getting ripped tonight. R.I.P. then. Hurry, yes, hurry.
There's not a single sign of remorse. She wasn't even banned after all of this, but rather decided to take down her accounts across all social medias, since the news finally reached the mainstream media. Moreover, after paying a bond of $20,000, Snow was let go. However, prosecutors wanted to revoke the bail in August 2021, since Snow was violating the conditions of release. And she failed to comply with certain guidelines, which are absolutely necessary for a bond to stay in effect. But as we already established so far, Snow doesn't seem to care about anything. Now, the next court hearing was on the 21st of October 2021 in Harris County's 230th Criminal District Court, but it is just for an evidence exchange. There's no trial date for this case. It has been over a year, and there's just no further information. This topic was suggested to me by someone over email who wishes to remain anonymous as they fear for their own privacy. They say that this case is only known in Belgium and not really internationally, and they want more attention on this topic. And there is some footage of this available, but it will be very difficult to show much of it. Sandra Dia, a 20-year-old black student at the Catholic University of Leuven, was put through a hazing ritual by 18 other students. I myself wasn't too familiar with the term hazing ritual. It refers to any activity expected of someone in joining or participating in a group that makes them go through very degrading, humiliating, and just overall very unpleasant things. The hazing consists of multiple tasks that one needs to go through. It starts off with harmless tasks like going around and trying to sell stuff. With each subsequent task, it gets worse. The second task was drinking until you black out. There's footage of people being peed on while they were passed out. After this, they brought Sandadia into a car and drove him to the woods, multiple miles away from civilization. There, they dug a hole and 3 students, including Sandadia, were told to sit in cold water for basically the entire day. Sporadically, they would throw cold and very dirty water on him and tell him to drink very disgusting mixtures of drinks, swallow a living goldfish, drink a lot of fish oil, etc. While the other 2 students seemingly were doing fine, Sandra seemed very unresponsive after a while. They knew something was wrong, but the reaction was very strange. They tried to erase evidence by filling up the hole that was dug up, throwing away any objects or garbage they had on the scene, deleting text messages where they discussed their plans, and only after 2 hours drove him back to the city. Once he arrived in the hospital, doctors realized that he suffered multiple organ failures because of all the fish oil he consumed. His body temperature was very low due to him being exposed to cold weather and water. He unfortunately passed away. The students were all sentenced. They get 200 to 300 hours of community service and fines of around $430. These very mild sentences caused nationwide protests, some arguing that this was racially driven, and some of the students participating in the hazing being openly racist, which, after looking more into it, doesn't seem like a baseless claim.
It's your boy Cyrax in the house. Shout out to my brothers.
Although Chance, known by the moniker Cyrax, began his online presence in 2009, it wasn't until 2010, with his musical debut under the name DJ Shadowblade, that he first gained infamy. His initial foray into the music industry consisted of videos in which he attempted to rap into the camera, making strange obscene noises and throwing himself into walls, with his lyrics hardly ever being discernible. To avoid exploitation in the music industry, he founded his own record label called Killer Clown Records, which he failed to see gain any success. His first taste of internet fame stemmed from his vlogs titled Inside the Shadows, in which he ranted incoherently to the camera. One of his videos, where he expressed his aversion to juggalos and their rules, gained substantial attention.
What's your favorite song on that album? Do you remember?
God, dude, I haven't listened to that album in a while. I'd have to go back and listen.
You know, the juggalo community means a lot to me personally, and so I'm just curious as to like what part of it you identified with the most. So, what do you think of the new ABK stuff? Do you remember what it was called?
I haven't actually really gotten into the new stuff yet.
What's your favorite ABK album?
Sorry to say, dude, but you're starting to sound like that Danny boy, so you gotta get it, man. Peace.
The responses to this video were never of praise for his opinions, but rather making fun of his mannerisms and speech. And to be fair, he didn't even know a single thing about what he was talking about. It made the impression that he just wanted to be a part of a group. In a subsequent video, he gave a tour of where he was living, revealing that he resided in a basement. Cyrex' gullibility and overestimated self-confidence made him a prime target for trolls. They duped him into signing fake music deals, convincing him that his music was gaining popularity. One particular troll, posing as Music Biz Marty, offered him a contract with Ram Ranch Records.
Shout out to my brothers over at Vendor Boys Records. Shout out to the big homie CPN, Child's Play Ninja.
Cyrex was also known to be a rampant plagiarist, stealing music and artwork from websites such as DeviantArt and SoundCloud, making little to no modifications and passing them off as his own. In one instance, a German musician called him out on YouTube, prompting Cyrex to launch into a tirade against him. Cyrex has never had a job and refuses to get one, as he believes it would distract him from his career, which he feels he has not yet fully developed. Instead, he depends on his grandmother Sally for financial support, receiving an allowance for doing chores around the house and relying on her SSI checks. Despite his quote-unquote career spanning over a decade, Cyrex has made very little money, with his earnings totaling no more than around $6. Cyrex first intimately encountered a troll when he started a relationship with his online girlfriend Tangerine Cat, a troll who communicated with him through email in an attempt to extort explicit photos from him. Fans, aka more trolls, would also message Cyrex asking for explicit photos, a request he was eager to follow up on, thus showcasing that he was unfaithful to his girlfriend Tangerine.
It was easy for me to buy myself a place as a moderator in there.
But still, you had no right doing that. Now, when I went to seek refuge in his Discord and seek help, you had no reason to do what you did.
Cyrex also faced online harassment for the crooked nature of his explicit photos. He also had a couple of real girlfriends rotate into his online presence, such as a girl named Abby, who left him after trolls revealed he had been unfaithful to her, and a girl named Heather, who appeared in several of his videos.
Here we go again with the wife. She straight out said that he's going around saying that his brothers are.
When I did.
When Heather eventually broke things off with Cyrex, he launched into explosive episodes on his YouTube channel, claiming that she must have been a troll and that she had targeted and exploited him. Cyrex was incorrect, however, as Heather was not associated with any of his trolls. Things quickly turned sour with Cyrex as in 2020 to 2021, Cyrex was caught sending explicit images and text to a former moderator who was posing as an underage girl. When information about this was leaked online, showcasing how Cyrex was aware of the girl being underage, many more girls and trolls came forward to state that he had sent them inappropriate content while they stated they were underage. He was also called out on often sending unsolicited intimate images, and his past started to be dredged up, including how he assaulted a blind boy in high school and was arrested in 2012 for strangling his grandmother. This incident was noted as Cyrex acting upon an impulse, and that he had no real reason to assault her. Cyrex has a track record of exploiting his family members' mental health issues and vulnerability for his own gain. He uses their struggles for sympathy points online during one of his many rants. Cyrex's own father, Angus Ravenwood, was actually revealed to be a convicted offender who has previously served a 20-year sentence for assaulting a young girl. He was caught after his friends recognized him in police sketches created of the potential perpetrator. In June of 2022, Cyrex attempted to expand his online presence by streaming on Twitch, with the aim of distancing himself from his trolls and pursuing his creative endeavors while generating income. Despite the platform's more stringent content guidelines, Cyrex persisted in performing the same inappropriate behaviors that had characterized his YouTube channel. Of course, his racist and homophobic behavior persisted, resulting in his prompt suspension from the platform and a 7-day ban. Rather than acknowledging his inappropriate conduct and awaiting the conclusion of his suspension to pursue an appeal, Cyrex resorted to creating a new Twitch account using a VPN, resulting in a permanent ban from the platform for violating the ban evasion policy. Cyrex subsequently attributed his ban to the actions of trolls, a familiar refrain in his online career. Twitch's payment policy dictates that a user must accrue at least $100 in ad revenue before receiving payment, meaning that Cyrex was unable to claim his earnings upon his ban, as prior to his suspension, Cyrex generated approximately $90 in advertising revenue, which was actually a significant amount compared to his usual meager earnings over a decade. On November 4, 2022, Cyrex claimed that he was the target of a shooting, alleging that someone had fired a bullet at his mattress during one of his live streams. In response, he threatened the hypothetical perpetrator with legal action and made other nonsensical statements including, quote, "To whoever did pull that trigger and attempted to end my life, I have one thing to say. First, you effing missed. Again. Which means you're a lousy shot. Second off, followed by 11 minutes of silence, you will be gotten arrested at the end of this because at the end of the day, my family's lives and my life is more important than everything in the world." A bullet was never located, and many viewers believed it to be a mousetrap being activated, or something that happened outside. Recently he actually got arrested, but the reasoning seems unclear, at least from the information I gathered. His arrest was captured on cam.
That's it. Let it all out. Let it all out, Cyrax.
I want to know why you did this to me.
Because you're a predator.
He is not a predator.
Okay, well, tell that to the evidence that speaks.
Do you have anything?
Actually, this is public. Yeah, this is public. Yeah, I'm just public. Sir, will you
gotta go.
You need to keep him away from me.
You gotta go.
You're gonna go to jail too, Ed?
You
gonna go to jail too? This is public. This is public.
Not right here, ain't.
This is a public sidewalk.
This is sidewalk.
Back up before you catch a charge too.
Soon he'll have his court hearing, so let's see what happens.
I am a monster. Oh. Can you see me smiling at you?
Ricardo Lopez, also known as the Bjork Stalker, was an American pest exterminator who would attempt to murder the Icelandic singer Bjork in order to marry her. Lopez was born in Uruguay and eventually moved to Hollywood, Florida, where he would begin documenting his life and obsession with the singer Bjork.
Hello. My name is Ricardo Lopez. It is January 14th, 1996, and I will begin a documentation of my life, my art, and of my plans. Do you want to see something funny? I'm going to show you who I am.
Lopez always had low self-esteem and was socially awkward. In a diary found by police, Lopez expressed feeling insecure and inadequate around women. He didn't have a successful career and began working for his brother's pest control business to support himself. He lived alone in his Florida home and eventually developed an extreme obsession with Bjork. In the video diaries, we can slowly see him becoming out of touch with reality. In 1993, Lopez began gathering information about Bjork, sending her numerous fan letters and gifts. As time passed, his obsession became increasingly alarming. In his diary, Lopez expressed his wish to be accepted by Bjork and become a person who had the most effect on her life. His obsession finally reached its lowest point when he planned to take her life as a means of revenge. In 1996, Lopez learned that Bjork was in a romantic relationship with the English musician Goldie. Feeling betrayed, Lopez decided to punish Bjork. He wrote in his diary, "I wasted 8 months, and she has a effing lover." At this point, Lopez began actively planning to kill Bjork and take his own life in order to marry her in the afterlife. Lopez constructed a letter bomb using sulfuric acid, which he planned to mail to Bjork's address in London, England. In his video diaries, we can see him constructing it, showing the effects of sulfuric acid and testing it with black ink.
You see all that damage? That's sulfuric acid, 96%. I burned myself a little bit in the tongue because I blew, and this is sulfuric acid that was diluted big time with water. Instantly it touched me, I went poof, I washed it off real good. It takes time for this to burn.
at least a minute to do some serious damage.
On the morning of September 12, 1996, Lopez began filming his final video diary named Last Day Ricardo Lopez. The video begins with him preparing to go to the post office in order to mail the letter to Bjork. After returning from the office, his room was filled with posters of Bjork and a hand-painted sign with handwritten words reading, "The best of me, September 12th. As Bjork's music played in the background, Lopez would shave his head and eyebrows, paint his face with red and green color, and introduce a strange object into the frame. The object was a gun. As Bjork's song I Remember You finishes playing, Lopez shouts victory and shoots himself in the mouth with a .38 caliber revolver. The footage released by the police censored it, but you could hear the audio. 4 days later, Lopez's corpse was discovered by the Hollywood Police Department, along with his 10 two-hour footage tapes. On the wall, there was a message left by him reading, "The 8mm videos are documentation of a crime. They are for the FBI." After looking at Lopez's final tape, the Hollywood Police Department contacted Scotland Yard about the dangerous package on the way to Bjork. The package didn't reach the address yet and was intercepted, saving Bjork from the potential harm.
If you look around me, I'm a piece of shit. Okay, I'm dirty, sloppy, fat, disgusting. Okay, I'm a piece of shit. Okay, the reason why I'm not interested in finding a girlfriend, this and that, because I'm a piece of shit.
Isabella Guzman lived with her mother Jan Mi Hoy and her stepfather Ryan Hoy. Isabella and her mom would often have arguments. In certain instances, Isabella would spit in her mother's face and threaten her, which made her mother so worried that she even called the police, but to no avail. In August of 2013, she and her mother would end up in the bathroom, and she would brutally take her life by stabbing her 79 times. For her bizarre attitude in court, she would later become TikTok famous. Some edgy teens even saying that they want to befriend her. At the time of her arrest, Isabella pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. Her doctors found she suffered from schizophrenia, and a judge ordered that she remain in a mental health institution until she was no longer a threat to herself or society. After 7 years of being hospitalized, she claimed that she was healed and petitioned to be released from the institution.
I was not myself when I did that, and I have since been restored to full health. The fight with my mom was terrible, and I was injured in the process. I have the scars on my hands. If I could change it, or if I could take it back, I would.
She still insists that her mother is at fault. She shows no signs of remorse after allegedly being healed. She talks about her scars on her hands or whatever, but doesn't waste a single breath talking about brutally stabbing her own mom close to 100 times. Ending with the generic, "If I could go back in time, I would not do it again." Not really convincing. Also, looking back at the court footage, you just get the impression that she couldn't care less. Right now, she still remains in the facility. In around 2018, a guy that went by Arab Andy went outside to livestream. During his livestream, viewers were able to donate and add a text message to the donation. The streamer had a loudspeaker installed, which would read out the donation message. That this doesn't seem to be the brightest idea is clear, especially considering the nature of some Twitch communities. Still, how horribly this went was very unexpected. During a livestream in 2018, Arab Andy would go into a building at a university in Washington and join a meeting of some sort. I'll play the clip since it's way better than me explaining it.
Attention.
Is this where you're supposed to be? I think so.
C4 has been successfully activated. Bomb detonation countdown successfully started.
Normally, you would try to escape from the situation as soon as possible, but this streamer decided against it. He stayed in the area and filmed the reaction of other students outside of the building. I can't show his livestream chat here since they are spamming the N-word, but even they are telling him to get out of there. Interesting is also his reaction to the entire thing. He pretends like it's not his responsibility and not his mistake that this happened, and wonders why everyone took it so seriously.
Dude, I was just, dude, they legit pulled a fire alarm because someone donated text-to-speech, bro. I mean, come on, dude, I didn't even say it. That's the thing. Someone donated. And they took that shit so serious that I was gonna pull up the whole thing, dude.
Eventually, police confronted him, leading to his arrest. There's also a clip of that.
Wait, what's going on? Okay, I'm recording, bro. If you're gonna shoot me. What are you doing, bro? Put the gun down. Put the gun down. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing, bro? Wait, let me take my phone. What?
I know you can argue that this wasn't his fault, but rather the fault of the person that donated, but it's maybe important to reflect on the entire career of Arab Andy. The streamer's online presence was extremely short-lived. He basically had all of his success in a month before he was arrested. He initially gained a following after appearing in one of Ice Poseidon's streams, another former live streamer, who would do streams outside. Anyway, there was a running gag in the community. To my understanding, they would basically give people names based on ethnicity or looks. That's why they gave him the name Arab Andy. Arab Andy was enjoying the fame and accepted this persona for clout. He did a bunch of toxic stuff, for example going to Muslims and letting his viewers donate to him to play songs out loud, clearly feeding stereotypes. He even went ahead and named his YouTube channel ISIS Poseidon. So yeah, he really wanted the attention. There were numerous cases where he got assaulted, confronted by police or threatened because of the donation sounds, but he always kept on going. There are also extremely uncomfortable clips, for instance here in a university, where someone donated to blast the N-word in a lecture.
Okay, alright, Matt, can I put it down?
Can you not be on it?
Yeah, sure.
What's that?
He's recording and people were leaving his hair for Stop recording me! Stop recording me!
Shit, my bad.
My class are, so you can record my class? That's okay? But you have to ask my permission?
My bad, sir.
And I prefer if it wasn't live.
You're right, my bad. I just was on live and I just saw your class, so.
So you're not in this class?
I am. I just registered today.
You registered for this class today?
Yeah.
You can't register for a class in the middle of class.
And they didn't tell me that at the office, dude.
Who are you and why are you here?
At this point, it's very difficult to feel empathy for him. He had numerous instances to understand that what he's doing is very risky and could go horribly wrong. And so, as a consequence, he got a probation of 2 years and wasn't allowed to continue streaming. He also says here that the Arab Andy persona was the greatest time of his life, which honestly sounds really sad.
You know, low-key, Arab Andy did change my life, man. It was the best time of my life. The most greatest thing I've ever done.
After 2 years, however, he started coming back to YouTube and also admitted that his viewers just didn't have his best intentions in mind, and that he just was immature. Well, due to him being away for so long and changing his content drastically, he just couldn't garner a large audience and quit his channel. He seems to be doing good though, so I think he just moved on. A viewer of mine named Yuri reached out to me. He described a lost life leak and ogreish video called Cheshclear, which appears to be one of the first beheading videos on the internet. While there's a 16-second version available of it, the full version remains untraceable to this date. No one knows who the victim in the video is, nor who the perpetrators are. It is speculated that a 5-minute version of Cheshclear exists, but it's nowhere to be found. The video includes the victim, who is on the ground and someone has his foot on his head. Then the guy pulls out his knife and yeah. Yuri also contacted a few other creators who covered the same topic a few months ago. One of them was Wank. He described the video in more detail. He says that there is wind coming through his throat, like you could hear that, which sounds extremely disturbing. I've never had such a description of a video. I highly recommend watching his video if you want to know more about possible suspects and so on, because I won't talk about that in this video. Looking at the 16-second snippet, it makes the impression that there needs to be more to it. There's a jump cut in the middle of the footage, so it's likely that there is a longer video. It is assumed by Yuri that the full version is a 5-minute long VHS tape. Yuri managed to dig up quite a bit of background info, so let's go through the main things. It is believed that Cheshclear is a video from 1996 and depicts a Russian soldier. There are different versions of the same clip available all over the internet. Some have color, some are black and white. Regardless, all of them were from the same source. It's from a documentary with a Russian title. In this documentary, which is available on YouTube and was only age restricted by the uploader, not even by YouTube, multiple very disturbing clips can be witnessed. One of them is Cheshclear. They talk Russian in this video, so Yuri reached out to someone that was able to translate the video. Apparently, the guy's life was taken due to a ransom not being paid. The name Cheshclear originates from the file name itself. In the early 2000s, people downloaded Cheshclear off of Ogrish, a shock site that launched in the year 2000. Someone decided to digitalize the VHS tape and put it on there and also on LiveLeak. It's still unclear why the specific name was chosen for the video from the side of the uploader. It also was later taken down on LiveLeak due to copyright, according to a guy that goes by Warlord47. The black and white version of Cheshclear had the title Unknown Russian Soldier and was actually 30 seconds long. 15 seconds of the video consisted only of the title screen. Yuri has a few suspects himself as to who the perpetrator could be, but we basically have nothing to go off of. It's hard to find more info on Cheshclear.
My name is Justin Moan. I'm the commander of America's National Network of Militias, which you may know of as Moan's Militia. I now give the following order for all militia and patriots across the United States of America. All federal employees are to be killed on sight. All FBI, IRS, and other federal law enforcement offices, as well as federal courthouses, are to be sieged around the country. All federal agents, U.S. Marshals, federal judges, and Border Patrol are to be killed or else captured, tortured for information, and publicly executed for betraying their country.
On January 30th, 2024, Justin Moon, a 32-year-old YouTuber, uploaded a video titled Moon's Militia, Call to Arms for American Patriots. The video begins with Moon facing the camera and reaching out for something. A few seconds later, he reveals what appears to be the decapitated head of his own father, Michael Moon. The video quickly became one of the darkest ever uploaded to the platform.
So don't think this has anything to do with race. This is an ideological and spiritual war. And when I filed a complaint to the FBI of this labor racketeering, they showed up at my door to threaten me with arrest. Meanwhile, in 2 separate lawsuits of mine, the federal judges hid the evidence from the public. We now know the enemy is on our soil and better funded than us. They have many of our public officials bribed, and they have connections to socialists, communists, and globalists all over the world who have even more money to place bribes or hire mercenaries with.
In the video, Moon claims that every politician, federal officer, and government worker is a traitor. He then announces a $1 million bounty for the death of each of them, urging his so-called followers to kill any government worker they see on sight. He also claims that he started this revolution by killing his own father, an FBI officer who had served for 20 years.
While we siege federal buildings and hunt down federal employees at their homes or anywhere else they may be hiding, I asked for local Pennsylvania and New Jersey militia to act as my personal security force and form a protective zone around me to kill any federal agent who attempts to arrest or kill me. I am now officially the acting president of America under martial law. If Joe Biden does not abdicate, then capture him and bring him to me in Pennsylvania. General Charles Brown, General Lloyd Austin, and all other active American military generals. Now is our last chance to retake America from the traitors.
On the day of the incident, Denise Moon, Justin's mother, left the house around 2 p.m., leaving her son and husband alone. Seeing this as an opportunity, Justin shot his father in the head and then proceeded to behead him with a kitchen knife. All because he believed his father was a traitor to the country. He then started recording himself, claiming to be the new president of the country and calling for violence against the government. After 5 hours, Denise returned home, to find her husband's decapitated body in the bathroom, surrounded by a large amount of blood. A machete and a large knife were also found in the bathtub. The cops were called and discovered Michael's head in a cooking pot in a bedroom next to the bathroom. They also discovered bloodstains on the desk in the room where the video was recorded, along with a computer that had several tabs open, YouTube being one of them. By the time Dennis returned home, Justin had already left, taking his father's car with him. The video was taken down just minutes after it was uploaded, and Moon was captured 100 miles away from his home. He was arrested on serious charges of first-degree murder, abuse of a corpse, and possession of instruments of crime. As authorities continued their investigation, they uncovered further evidence of Moon's deteriorating mental state, including self-published writings and disturbing songs. Among them was a book he wrote titled Second King, the Messiah of Earth, and another one titled They Will Burn This Book. He also produced multiple misogynistic and racist songs, most of which have since become lost media. Honestly, he seems completely out of touch with reality. He even claimed that his own public defender was a federal agent working against him and wrote a letter to Russia's ambassador to the United States asking for refuge. In the letter, he also apologized to President Putin for claiming to be the Tsar of Russia. Unsurprisingly, his request was declined. Ian Foote is a 49-year-old YouTuber who makes videos documenting his life and sharing his thoughts on almost everything. On the surface, his videos seem quite normal, and he appears to be just like any other creator. However, as you dig deeper, you'll discover the life of one of the most insane men on the internet. The description of his channel is equally disturbing. It reads, "I carry this vast anger in me. I want to scream in people's faces, and I've been alone too long. I've started talking to people who aren't here, saying the things I didn't get to say, stuck in a loop. So, I decided that I would just vent on the internet, scream at the world." One of his videos, uploaded on July 27th of this year, entitled "I Want to Hurt People," starts off with Ian explaining how he has lost any interest in women and wants to harm him.
I'm a violent misogynist. I don't even want to have sex with them anymore. I don't even want to have sex with them. I don't find them attractive anymore. I just want to beat the shit out of them.
He went on to express even more hatred towards women, saying how he wants to, quote, beat the shit out of them. Initially, people thought he was probably just trolling, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
I really am, genuinely. I really am a violent misogynist. I just want to knock them to the ground and kick them and stomp on them. I just want to hurt them. I just want to hurt them.
He even mentioned how he wishes to go to Texas, buy guns, and then return to Canada to kill all the feminists.
I really want to go to Texas, buy a bunch of guns, and come back up here to Canada, start killing feminists. I never thought that I would end up like this. And this is how it is. I've been slandered so many times in so many ways.
His current channel is just 1 month old, but he has been uploading videos on YouTube for a long time. His previous channel was taken down for obvious reasons. On that channel, he uploaded another video titled, "I just want to kill everyone. I don't want a happy ending. Things are too effed up to save."
I don't want a happy ending anymore. I don't want a happy ending anymore. There's no future ahead of me that isn't completely consumed with fear and misery and pain and hate. And all I want is death. And I want to take you down with me. If I had 1,000,000 wishes, it wouldn't matter. If I had an infinite number of wishes, it still wouldn't matter. I don't care anymore. I don't want a good outcome. I don't want a happy ending anymore. I just want to kill you all of you. I don't want to rule you. I don't want to conquer you. I just want to exterminate you. I want to die, and I want to take you with me.
Honestly, a lot of his old videos are now lost media, but we have some of them archived. According to his videos, he seems like he's frustrated with his own life and lives completely alone. His marriage was also a failure, as he and his wife have already separated. In another video titled simply "Pain," he expressed how unhappy he is with his life and has accepted it as his fate.
I lack control. I don't like surprises. I'm not happy. I'm not content. I'm not satisfied. I don't smile. I don't laugh. I'm miserable. I've been continuously miserable for years. And I know that this is my fate. I'm extremely unhappy.
In many of his videos, he appears delusional and repeatedly lies about various things. He even claimed to be a martial arts champion, but provided no evidence to support this. Overall, Ian Foot's mental health doesn't seem to be in a good place, and it could potentially be dangerous to those around him.
Talk to me. Taking away my whole life. I got a top secret clearance. You trying to f that up? Talk to me.
Okay, this one is pretty dark. Ali Abu Laban, or also known as Jin Kid on TikTok, is accused of shooting his wife Anu Abu Laban and her friend Rayburn Cardenas Barron in a luxury high-rise apartment in downtown San Diego. Ali thought that his wife was cheating on him. Ali was sitting at almost 1 million followers on TikTok. His account featured comedy skits and impersonations, mostly of the character Tony Montana from Scarface. Ali and his wife had been separated for some time, but he was pursuing reconciliation. According to preliminary hearings, there were incidents of domestic violence and indications of Ali himself cheating with other women during their marriage. A husband and wife who live across from them separately testified that about a month prior to the shooting, Anu Abu Laban had knocked on their door and asked them to call the police because she said her husband had hit her. And they testified that she asked to use their phone because she said Ali had taken hers. They also testified that the police had been called to the Abu Laban's unit several times in the months leading up to the shooting. There were even TikTok live streams of him being very aggressive and unhinged, and his wife was supposedly calling the police live on stream.
You're not even an American citizen. I brought you to this goddamn country. Name one man that would do that shit for you. Oh, great. You were on the phone with police while I said that? Wow. I thought you were done with the phone call. Okay, great. What do you mean walk it off? I'm going to jail, man. Jail. I have no record.
Though it was agreed that Ali would move out of the apartment, prosecutors allege he secretly made a copy of the apartment key. He allegedly later told investigators that while his wife was away on the morning of October 2021, he used a copied key to enter the apartment, vandalize the unit, then installed an app on his daughter's iPad that allowed him to monitor live audio inside the apartment. While listening to the app later that day, he overheard his wife and a man giggling and talking, then drove to the complex from a Mission Bay hotel where he was staying. Ali told police that upon entering the apartment, he saw a guy and his wife sitting on the couch, and the man had his arm around his wife. Ali said he then shot both victims shortly after entering the unit. Afterwards, he picked up his daughter from school and called his mother to confess to his crimes. In detention, he also gave an interview. I cannot show the entire thing here because of copyright, but he's completely unhinged and a huge control freak.
You gotta leave her, you gotta leave her. I know I gotta leave her, but I don't wanna leave her. I want my wife.
Could anyone else have Anna?
Huh?
Could anyone else have Anna?
How well she's married to me.
The following topic, especially the YouTube channels in question, were very unknown, and it was only recently uncovered on the subreddit Internet Mysteries, even though this entire thing dates back to over a decade ago. OP describes two YouTube channels that were created for the sole purpose of celebrating perpetrators and mocking, as well as bullying the victims. One of the commenters also says, "You just unearthed something really gross, weird, and horrible." I looked into it. Seems like it's a dead community of predators who would blackmail the underage. This same group was for instance responsible for the extreme bullying of Amanda Todd, Jesse Slaughter, and other underage children online. This entire topic was very well covered on WordPress, but it would take far too long to go through everything, so I'll just stick to the main points and YouTube channels in the following. The YouTube channels seemingly belong to the same person or group of people. 2009 Capo Awards and 2010 Capo Awards feature multiple videos of rankings. They are pretty self-explanatory, so let's just have a look.
agents arrested Silipini at his Massachusetts home last month and found more than 100 videotapes of webcam sessions like these.
20-year-old John Hawk has his own web show. He streams live videos and has quite a few followers. But this is Hawk's mugshot. Police say he a woman live online.
Lots of people get famous for doing things.
I honestly am unsure what I'm even allowed to show and what not, but the people making these videos are putting predatory websites and people in a ranking, and from what I understand, people were able to vote. According to the description of a different video, 4,000 people voted. There are a lot of hints regarding CP as well, but it's very difficult to understand everything without any context. The description reads, "There are many moments in capping that shock and amaze us. Moments like online live R-word, and cappers being arrested, or if moderation is killing our win. What was the most shocking of them all in the year 2009? Another video is called Public Site of the Year, and the rank 1 website is Anon IB, which was shut down on grounds of CP and endangerment of women, according to change.com. There, the author says, most of the girls who became exposed by the men on these threads are 15 to 18 years old. How do I know? My city has a thread. I have female friends that are pictured on there, and I'm working to get them off of it. I'm working to stop this invasion of privacy that none of these girls asked for. And ultimately, I'm working to end this website's proliferation of CP. So yeah, not really surprising that this website would end up at number 1 in their video. Overall, these people are self-aware. Even in one of the ranking videos titled Faction of the Year, they show a snippet of a news coverage saying that cappers are online predators.
Predators known as cappers. In this password-protected virtual planning room, cappers actually share videos and discuss strategies to get more girls on video.
It makes the impression that they are actually enjoying all the attention that they get. What also becomes apparent is that they trick these girls into doing something regrettable in order to blackmail them and force them to undress themselves on camera, and this in turn is also used to further blackmail them, even leading, in the case of Amanda Todd, to her taking her own life. The dates of the case and the group's activity also line up, since the perpetrator, Coben, harassed Amanda online between 2009 and 2013, the same time where cappers were the most active. While doing some more research into this, I found another YouTube channel named The Daily Capper News, who made a full video on the Amanda Todd case. This video has well over 100,000 views. While this YouTube channel and its main demographic are all perpetrators, they now start backpedaling, which seems to be a desperate attempt at saving face.
More details to the recent Amanda Todd tragedy. The majority of people seem misinformed. The media tends to miss out on a lot of key information. Others have no idea what they're talking about, and police investigators have no understanding of the internet at all. While people have made Amanda Todd's case into an example of bullying, what they tend to overlook is the capping and blackmail aspect of the story. Contrary to what the media believes, this wasn't just a petty case of cyberbullying. For them to continue to get the capping community mixed up with cases such as sting.
According to the comments, the opinions seem to be mixed. This account makes me sick. How could someone ever do this to a child? Reported this video. This video is so effing sick. They should be thrown in jail. To the person who made her do this, are you happy? This girl is dead because of you. She had her whole life ahead of her. Why? Why would you do that? With someone replying, yes, I'm happy. Someone else also says, the people who make the Daily Capper are true heroes to the earth. They are one of the greatest things to ever happen to this earth, and will always stand behind them wherever they may be. Also replying to her comment of someone asking how perpetrators are the heroes of the earth, saying, because they took the life of Amanda Todd. In the other channel's Capper Awards 2010, there's only one public video on it. In this instance, the video production looks similar, but we have an AI voice narrating the entire thing. Also with Jesse Slaughter being a nominee.
Welcome cappers and camp to the official 2010 Capper Awards voting video. Here we will go over the awards and the nominees. Jesse Slaughter's freaked out. There is no need to go into any detail about this. Everyone knows the story. Papa Jazz wants mama. This 50-year-old brought loads to camp for the win with his lip camp with 17-year-old mama PhD. Aussie owned by XXX Maze. Aussie has denied blackmailing anyone all this year. But when the infamous Stickcom hackers get a hold of some information, they force him to apologize to all the girls he blackmailed in recent months.
They had their own websites and hangout spots, but everything has been shut down. They also have a Dailymotion and Vimeo, where we can find videos that were not uploaded on YouTube. This is a very large rabbit hole, so I don't want to go through everything, but in one of the videos, they basically explain what capping is.
Now a lot of people wonder exactly what capping is really like. Some people have gone as far as to describe it as an underground version of Girls Gone Wild. In some ways that can be considered true. Let's compare, shall we?
The sites are like the clubs. There are shy girls, drunk girls, friends, and the ones you already know will be epic. This would be a typical example of convincing a girl to flash a chat room that would look something like this. Usually after a girl flashes, you have those idiots who think it will look different a second time in a chat room that would look something like this.
It's more or less harassing underage girls until they give in and do what they say, with the biggest difference being that during capping, you'll usually end up blackmailing your victim.
Of course there are a lot of differences between capping and Girls Gone Wild. For one, there are no blackmailers on Girls Gone Wild. But then again, those girls know they're going to have their videos shared all over the world. While girls on the internet will cry when they get recorded.
Honestly, I'm somewhat surprised that the Dailymotion channel is still online, because some of the content is really strange. Like I already mentioned, most of this is from 2009 to 2012, so the cappers are either gone, or they may operate in smaller groups or solo from now on. Zhao Zhao is a huge internet sensation, amassing tens of millions of views on YouTube and TikTok. Though with each video you watch, you start to realize that something is off. You get the impression that Zhao is being used, abused and bullied for exposure, mostly from what looks like her own family. Now obviously the other person, which seems to be a relative, is laughing while doing it, so you could maybe consider this as a stunt, where Zhao pretends to be pissed off. And there really are some videos that seem to be scripted and planned out, where Zhao also seems to know what's going on. But there are also numerous videos which don't look staged at all. Sometimes Zhao even becomes physical, trying to attack people who mock her. Others in the comments also point out they feel bad about how she's being treated, and so the sentiment is definitely leaning towards it not being a stunt to garner attention, but rather her being taken advantage of, at least in some videos. According to people on the internet, Zhao suffers from primordial dwarfism and forms of intellectual disabilities. It's unclear how old she is. The ages range from 14 up to 36. Initially, Zhao built her platform mostly on Chinese social media sites. With the rising popularity, she would lean towards more Western platforms, and her content would also get cross-posted there. I haven't seen too many discussions surrounding Zhao on bigger social media sites here in the West, but there were a few posts on Reddit talking about it. Zhao Zhao. Has anyone else heard of her? I think she's a disabled 33-year-old Chinese woman, and she's been going viral lately. People have been racist to her, saying they want to cause her physical harm, and just overall being terrible to her. Her parents are apparently abusing her. Some translators have said she's repeatedly telling them to stop filming. She clearly seems to be in distress or upset in all of the videos. It feels like she's being provoked. And there was even a video where they had her in trash bags and swung her around. But people are too busy mocking her to care. Honestly, I'm not sure what I'm allowed to show here because certain videos are clear cases of bullying, even though in the descriptions it says that no harm was caused. Comments are mostly from people telling the man to leave Zhao alone. Last video was uploaded on the 12th of December last year. This caused people to claim that Zhao passed away, but there has been no evidence for this claim. Shortly after these rumors, Zhao started uploading again and is uploading to this date. It remains unclear if she's being used by relatives or if she's aware of what's happening at all times. Now we get to the most heinous and most disgusting part of this video. 14-year-old Claire Miller took the life of her 19-year-old sister Helen Miller. Helen has cerebral palsy, thus spent much of her life in a wheelchair and needed frequent assistance. Claire is a highly deranged and disturbed individual. She told police she would have taken her life earlier if she knew she would get to eat McDonald's sooner. This was during her interrogation, where police provided her fast food as a breakfast. While sitting in her juvenile detention cell, she also admitted she Michael Myers her sister, referring to the character from the 1978 horror movie Halloween. So there really is no remorse at all. She 100% knew what she was doing. At the day of the crime, her sister will be sleeping. At around 1 AM, Claire would enter the room with a kitchen knife and stab her multiple times in the neck. If she's tried as an adult, she would face life in prison or the capital punishment. Her mother said, quote, "We love both of them. I know Claire didn't mean to do this. We lost Helen, and we don't want to lose Claire too. We don't want her to be punished, not get help and be put away for a long period for something that was out of her control. We can't lose her too. I mean, I'm sorry, but this is pure delusion from the side of the mother." And the judges agreed. She pleaded guilty and is now serving anywhere between 12.5 years up to 40 years in prison. Again, under normal circumstances, she would have gotten either life in prison or the capital punishment. As for Claire's TikTok, it looked fairly normal. There was a big emphasis on different anime and also cosplaying. With the given context that she's actually a perpetrator, these TikToks kinda become more eerie. When the news initially came out, she quickly got over 10,000 followers and over 1 million views on her newest TikTok video, but it quickly got banned. This one is so unbelievably stupid in every possible way, but really disgusting at the same time. At the time, 16-year-old Sierra and 18-year-old Aaron Guerrero were dating. Both were planning to run away. Sierra's father told his wife about their plans, and both agreed the teen should no longer be in a relationship. Aaron, on the other hand, just decided to run away, and the mother had not heard from him for 2 days. And due to the lack of approval from the side of Sierra's father, the teens decided to take his life. The most disgusting thing, however, is a video that the police captured. In this video, they are laughing and acting like it was a cute thing to take her father's life.
I don't know what to say.
Welcome back to our YouTube channel. After
Day
murdering, Day 3 after murdering somebody.
Wow! Don't put that on the camera.
It was worth it.
There were also a few text messages after the incident, such as one from Aaron, reading, "Hey Sierra, I'm trying to get a hold of your dad. Where is he?" To which she replied with, "His phone has been acting up, but he's okay. It should be all fixed by tomorrow night. No worries." They also took the dad's credit card and fled to Salt Lake City, where they were both arrested. They both agreed to spend 22 years in prison, but the sentencing doesn't seem to be final. Authorities also said surveillance photos and receipts showed the teens purchasing items like bleach, lighter fluid, gloves, and cleaning clothes, obviously trying to cover it up. And there are a few more details, but I can't share them here. If you're unfamiliar with the case, there are multiple versions available of the clip I showed you from both of them, which are longer and give additional context, especially about Aaron and what type of person he probably is. Leighton Allen LeBoot, or better known as Dolly Flesh Online, was mostly uploading clay animations. These weren't your usual animations though. His content was very disturbing. It feels like he was projecting his own fantasies in those videos, most of which I'm not even sure I can show. You could make the argument that one doesn't necessarily need to be a psychopath to make these videos, and while this might be true in some cases, this definitely isn't the case with Dolly Flesh. He had a Twitter and Instagram, the latter has been taken down. There he would often post stuff which raised a couple of red flags. Quote, "When I was 12, I remember having an obsession of wanting to be R-worded by a hot girl. I remember looking at the cover of Britney Spears in a dress and black hair and would tell lots of others I wish she could do that to me." Without context, this still isn't anything too definitive, so it was somewhat easy to write off as an edgy tweet for attention. He eventually made a Twitter post contemplating on buying a hamster. He would later upload a video to YouTube playing with those hamsters.
So, I recently purchased some hamsters from PetSmart. I got 3 of them. I haven't thought of names yet.
On the very next day, he would upload a video taking the life of these animals in a very brutal manner. While the video was taken down almost instantly, people still have very detailed descriptions of what happened in that video. The description of the video allegedly read, "Pin stabbed, drowned, microwaved." Around 10 days later, he would get arrested, but would later be released after paying a $1,000 bail. After seeing this, some of the residents, even his own neighbors, protested outside the Kelowna law courts. A year later, his trial took place, where he was put under an 18-month conditional sentence and 4 to 5 years of supervision. When police asked him why he did it, he said he was, quote, "bored and entertained by it. Obviously no remorse in sight." Even worse is that he told one of his friends at school that he was planning on taking everyone's life in his class because the girls kept on rejecting him. He created multiple plans like poisoning the water fountains or putting mustard gas in the vents. His big idols were people like Tsutomu Miyazaki, which a lot of you should be familiar with. His main channel was terminated, and the last update regarding this case was from 2021.
Yeah, but how would they know I'm a bad parent? They don't live with me.
Exactly. Maybe they see videos.
An infamous lol cow, 37-year-old Shani for Christ, has done many notorious and disturbing things online for all to see, building herself an extensive reputation of abuse, gaslighting, manipulation, religious fanaticism, and hysterical breakdowns. Shani is a very religious evangelical YouTuber who has previously stated that she believes she is the second coming of Jesus, or sometimes instead states that Jesus acts as her guide and personally attacks her enemies for her, either through spiritual or physical means. Shani built a reputation for intense meltdowns on YouTube, as well as picking fights with others online, especially ones where she gets to express her religious importance and self-proclaimed martyrdom. She's also known to fake illnesses to garner sympathy from people online, such as feigning incontinence and even cancer. She appears online alongside her current husband known as the Reverend, or Rev, who has stated Shani's habit of feigning illnesses to be true.
Oh, this is how you prove to get me back, Jason?
You did gaslight me.
How did I gaslight you?
You tell me I'm lying about things I'm not lying about. She burned through all your money, dude. Get out.
Wow. Wow. You hurt me, and you're gonna continue to hurt me?
He also has publicly stated several times that she is physically abusive towards him, though he frequently retracts these statements. Her and Rev create adult content online together, which has been a popular topic for trolls to torment Shani about. However, one of the worst aspects of Shani for Christ is her abuse, with her being arrested for assault towards Rev in May of 2019, though she never served any jail time. Rev himself has been caught several times threatening Shani's 2 children on camera, and was eventually arrested for beating them.
I'm safe. Jason's in jail. I hope I can make it through. I can't drive.
The kids are also said to be living in squalid conditions with the couple and often urinate themselves at inappropriate times. Shani recently has given up her kids to CPS so that she can stay with Rev after his arrest for beating them. She often refers to her kids' time with CPS as a vacation for them.
And I had to put my sons first, okay? I know I don't usually talk about my sons, but this does involve my sons.
This online history surrounding Shani for Christ is incredibly vast, with over 100 pages existing for them on Kiwi Farms, and the endless list of their offensive acts ever growing. Shenny for Cries is definitely a rabbit hole of messed up situations that is not possible to cover in such a short video, but with evidence of abuse and assault and disturbing content that any user can spend hours upon hours consuming, Shenny is definitely worth even briefly mentioning when it comes to the darker side of the internet. So this topic was recommended to me on my subreddit. Feel free to join it, link is down below. Back when I made a video about the subreddit rHangstank, I talked about the website towards the end of the video. It was a website called 32chan, a variation of 4chan with basically zero moderation. Masterchan is pretty similar. It was created roughly 10 years ago and survived at the very least up until 2014. The information on Masterchan is very limited. The best description I could find was on Quora, reading, "Masterchan is an image board with true freedom of speech. Here, posts are never deleted nor censored, and users are never banned. Instead, Masterchan has its own unique concept for moderation, allowing off-topic threads and on-topic threads to coexist in the same board, without sharing the same space. If you decide to go on the website, it will give you a blank white screen. There are basically no archived threads nor screenshots available of the website. I will talk more about this in a moment. There were a few discussions about Masterchan in some niche forums. The privacy that Masterchan offers is very unique, at least according to this user. On any website on the internet like Facebook, 4chan or Reddit, every single message or post you make is saved on a database along with your IP. This is mostly done for moderation purposes. You need to know someone's IP to prevent the same person from abusing the system again. That means anyone, a government, a hacker, the site's owner or technical staff can peek at the database and know everything you've ever said online. How does it make you feel? The person then claims that on Masterchan, the IP has its last 2 digits removed, gets encrypted and only then stored on the database. This gives you the most protection out of every Chan site, since your IP is supposedly only partially stored. They also talk about the possibility of no IPs being involved at all due to multiple proxies and Tor being enabled. The only more thorough discussion board that I found about Masterchan was a subreddit. On there, we quickly understand that multiple people complain about the users on Masterchan. See, the issue with the lack of moderation is that there were constant images of CP posted on the boards. When we look up Masterchan on Website Informer, it also states that it is similar to Candy Doll Chan. Candy girls or candy dolls is a term for girls who look like they are underage, but they are actually 18. It's basically a cope for predators who believe they are breaking no laws by engaging in their fantasies this way. On the subreddit, a guy named Nude is mentioned. Nude is supposedly the creator of the website. On his Twitter, there were a few interactions with him and an account named Anrife, who runs a website, which supposedly is the only attempt at bringing free speech to the people, seemingly affiliated with the Chan sites like 8chan, 8kun, etc. Due to the lack of moderation to enable more privacy and free speech, authorities quickly intervened and took the site down. As you can see here, the Dutch government forced the host of Masterchan to shut down the website. On Twitter, he says that there is an investigation going on. Ever since, the site has never been reinstated. Also, due to the police involvement, any archive of Masterchan has been completely wiped off the internet. You can't find anything through Google or Wayback. The Masterchan subreddit is also in a weird state, since the handle is just a bunch of gibberish, and while it consisted of over 250 members according to the description of the sub, there are only 4 members left. A lot of posts and replies on the sub are also from people who are banned. From 2007 to 2008, Nick Bate established his online presence by creating accounts on LiveJournal and DeviantArt. He was eventually discovered on a forum website called 789chan, which was dedicated to another internet personality named Chris Chan. Nick faced a lot of harassment and trolling online for various reasons, including the fact that he regularly admitted to never washing or cleaning himself, instead opting to only clean his hair. He also has very poor dental hygiene, admitting to never brushing his teeth, leaving him with rotting and misshapen teeth in the front of his mouth. Another huge point of harassment for Nick was his coprophilia, and his obsession with disgusting feces, and how they can be incorporated into sexual acts. He also faced harassment for admitting to enjoying cross-dressing. The main point of harassment for Nick was a self-proclaimed inappropriate fascination with underage children, insisting that maintaining intimate relationships with children shouldn't be illegal, and professing his intense interest in such relationships. Nick went on to create his first YouTube channel named Dr. Nicholas Bate on November 11, 2009, where he primarily posted short vlogs such as tours of his trailer and videos featuring his family. However, he later moved on from this channel and created another one, named Constant Butts, on June 17, 2011. Nick briefly had an online girlfriend named Anna, who was a troll disguised as a potential partner for Nick in an online roleplay forum. Anna was a huge focal point of Nick's obsessions in the brief time they dated. It was to this troll that Nick admitted to committing violating acts against his younger half-sister, involving his fascination with coprophilia. With this, he made the following song.
Raping children, then disemboweling and force-feeding them their own intestines. Damn, son.
Around the 30th of April 2015, Nick was finally arrested for these incidents, which were stated to have occurred between 2009 to 2010, when his half-sister was 5 to 7 years old. His court case was documented by Kiwi Farms user named Saul Goodman, who explained how Nick's half-sister had to explain the grooming to the court, despite Nick's protests that the claims were false. Nick was found to be guilty and is now currently serving time in prison on a 16 to 40-year sentence, a sentence he has tried to appeal twice, but both times have been denied.
I'm gonna flip this 3 times, or the best out of 3 rather, and if it's heads, I'll do it here. If it's tails, supermarket. Tails. Which means there's going to be a loss of a human life, besides my own. Possibly more than one.
Randy Stair was someone who had quite the online presence, and while he wasn't largely popular, his early 2008 YouTube comedy videos and his later 2014 Danny Phantom fan videos helped him gather a small fanbase. For Randy, a lot of his life was put online, and in his head, most of his life was spent in an alternate cartoon universe. At the age of 16, Randy, who resided in Dallas, Pennsylvania, began working on his YouTube channel Pioneers Productions, where he created and uploaded comedy videos, most of which are deleted now and unable to be found anywhere online. Through these videos, he introduced several fictional characters portrayed by toys he owned, such as Mr. Horsehead, who was a toy hobby horse, Froggy, who was a plastic toy frog, and a random stuffed toy of a whale. Randy went by the name of Andrew Blaze Online and continued to make multiple channels on YouTube, including the channel Worthless Toaster. When Randy started to become obsessed with Danny Phantom character Amber McLean in 2014, a video he had uploaded on the Worthless Toaster channel, consisting of a HD quality version of one of the character's songs named Remember, gained 3 million views over 5 years. His growing obsession with Danny Phantom meant that he no longer had any passion for his comedy YouTube channel, instead wanting to focus on creating fan animations for the show. He closed the channel Pioneers Productions with a 5-part final series, including a range of disturbing and bizarre imagery, including dropping a laptop playing the HD version of Remember into water, ending the lives of his stuffed toys and cremating them, among other more graphic imagery. Now that he was done with Pioneers Productions, Randy turned his full focus to his animated EGS, aka Amber's Ghost Squad, which focused on female characters from Danny Phantom. The cartoon frequently included morbid themes, and Randy even believed that he was in a relationship with the fictional character Mackenzie West, who he dubbed as his soulmate. Randy's obsession grew more and more darker the more he spent his free time working on the cartoons, especially with his job at his local waste market, meaning he worked night shifts and rarely had normal human contact. He began believing that the afterlife was in fact his EGS universe, and that when he passed away, he would be reborn into that universe to be with his girlfriend Mackenzie. He also stated that he felt like a woman trapped in a man's body, though never explicitly expressed a desire to transition, instead believing that he would have to pass away in order to be reborn as the girl he was meant to be in the EGS universe. Randy also became obsessed with the Columbine incident, joining online communities discussing Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold's motivations and how they carried out their crime, and even praising their actions and reasoning. His Columbine obsession as well as his Danny Phantom obsession began to merge into one, with him creating and releasing an EGS cartoon in late 2016 titled Westboro High, Goodbye. This video focused on Randy, as his EGS alias Andrew Blaze, recreating the event of Columbine with the Danny Phantom character Rachel at a high school that resembles the one he grew up in, though it was set in the EGS universe. Randy continued to express frustration and pain online over not being able to exist as a girl, especially one in the Danny Phantom universe, and began heavily emphasizing how ready he was to cross over to the other side, creating a date for him to commit the act on, subsequently moving it closer and closer as he became more restless. Using a coin flip to determine his method of crossing over, Randy decided to not only end his life, but to pay homage to the Columbine perpetrators by ending the lives of his co-workers at the waste market too.
Tails. Which means there's going to be a loss of a human life, besides my own. Possibly more than one. That's fate for you.
He even made a series of tapes, explaining his reasoning for the event, another element he copied from Harris and Klebold. On June 7th, 2017, Randy went into work like usual, only this time taking in 2 shotguns. They were sawed off and had duct tape grips like the Columbine perpetrators. He made sure to block an emergency exit as he started work, and carried on with his usual store duties while locking other exits as he worked. Randy took the lives of 3 of his co-workers, with his co-worker Kristen Noel unaware of the events as she was listening to music through her headphones. When she became aware of the attack, she locked herself in the crew room where she contacted police. The attacks ended when Randy passed away by the store's deli section. Though to his co-workers, Randy's attack was random and out of character for the shy introvert. Those who were aware of Randy's online presence and interests had years worth of content to sift through and witness his descent into madness.
I am Two Thorn Rose, you can call me Rose. I'm a cam model, I'm an artist, I love fitness. I like making videos about that and about my art and just about my daily life. And my channel over on YouTube where I was doing all of that stuff got deleted.
Melissa Turner was a cosplayer and cam girl who also goes by Two Thorn Rose online and was found guilty just recently. But what happened? Melissa was dealing with weight problem issues and had a lot of student debt after graduating college. Further, she was unable to land a job and also wasn't really able to engage in her passions like cosplaying due to her weight and feeling miserable about it. Over time, she managed to lose a lot of weight and found her boyfriend, who went by the online pseudonym Sin. As time progressed, Melissa became more and more confident, especially through the praise and comments of strangers on the internet regarding her cosplays. Eventually, she got to meet someone who introduced her to the world of camgirls. With the big money involved, it didn't take much to convince her to start her new career. As you can see here, she went by the online username Two Thorn Rose. Her career went on for a couple of years, and she was able to sustain herself with her new income. There were videos of her even complaining about people that shared her videos without giving credit.
If you guys see my stuff posted anywhere, even if it's things from my YouTube, let me know, because it's copyright infringement. I did not give anybody permission to upload my shit.
Also, while looking into it, the videos she shared on explicit sites include her and her boyfriend, so her boyfriend was also part of her career. He had the online pseudonym Sin. At the same time, it also seemed like an open relationship type of deal, since the videos also feature other men, but I really don't want to go too much into detail, and I'd also advise to not look her up. Since business was going well, she and her boyfriend Sin decided to open up a small studio with equipment that others could use for their own projects in return for a small fee. This was a good additional revenue stream that was not relying on her career, which made her more independent. Though her relationship with Sin was not doing so well, since they often had arguments which led to them breaking up. This resulted in Melissa's entire business model collapsing, with her website being taken down. After a breakup, she found a new boyfriend named Matthew Trussler in 2017. Matthew initially worked in a restaurant, was overall hardworking, an animal lover, and had a healthy and good relationship with friends and family. Matthew wanted more from life though, so he moved on from that job to other fields, but eventually ended up recording videos with Melissa, which made Melissa's career sustainable again. There were also a few Q&As where people were asking if she is happy with her current relationship, to which she replied with, "I'm still as happy a year and a half in as I was at the beginning." Though this didn't really depict the reality of their relationship. They often argued, and family members and friends stated that Matthew was isolating himself more and more. In 2019, Melissa called an ambulance for her boyfriend Matthew because he was fatally attacked. Melissa claims that she found him in that state and had no idea what happened to him. She then allegedly tried to perform CPR, but it was unsuccessful. Well, this was a story that she told at the scene. When she was taken to the police station, she told a different story. This time she said that she didn't find him outside in the garden. Instead, she claims that Matthew came home drunk, which upset her and they got into a conflict. Then he allegedly assaulted her, and in an act of self-defense, she took his life. After this, police and investigators became increasingly more suspicious and didn't believe her. She was arrested for the suspicion of being the perpetrator. Additionally, between the time of the alleged self-defense and her calling the police was a 4-hour time window. This is pretty odd. Why would someone wait for 4 hours to contact the police? Now it gets pretty interesting. There was a deal from the side of the state where she could have taken 25 years in prison. She declined and insisted on a 5-year sentence. Strange. If it's self-defense and you're innocent, why even go for any sentence at all? In court she played the victim card, but the jury wasn't convinced. There were a lot of inconsistencies, which pointed to Matthew actually trying to defend himself from Melissa and getting hurt in the process. There were also devices in the area that record audio of the event happening, which also helped to get a clearer picture of what had occurred on that day. Lastly, the court had doubts of Matthew being abusive towards Melissa. As a result, she was sentenced to 20.5 years in prison, which is actually far from the worst punishment she could have gotten, which would have been life in prison, but at the same time, with a different jury and attorneys, she could have maybe even gotten away with no punishment at all, so I think this is overall one of the better outcomes. Hunter Hogan is a YouTuber who performed various surgeries on himself to remove his tumor. Previously, he used to be a lawyer in the US, but later became homeless. The bio of his YouTube channel reads, "I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a disabled, impoverished homeless person. I never wanted to be a YouTuber. I make videos because support from viewers has kept me alive since October 2019. With enough support, I can heal and be self-sufficient again." He has a pretty active YouTube channel where he would document his life and his conditions as a homeless person.
11 years ago, I started having to beg for help to get back on my feet and for my life to not decline more. I had to beg for. I'm still ashamed that I am too weak, too sick to take care of myself.
He also has a website where he posts videos of himself performing self-surgeries, likely because he doesn't have enough money to pay for a surgery. The title of some of the videos read, "Cauterizing infections on my left knee, self-surgery on a mole, and self-surgery on tumor." I definitely cannot show anything here because of its graphic nature, but it's really disturbing. The condition of Hogan is deteriorating day by day, and it is honestly painful to watch.
Breaking out of the trap of chronic homelessness is difficult. One of my barriers is that I don't have enough income. Besides that, being homeless makes each task more challenging. Right now, for example, I was trying to search online for a permanent place to live. The internet started intermittently cutting in and out. I don't know why, and I don't have any control over it. Then a dog started barking, and for me, that's a problem, creates symptoms. I put some earplugs in, that helped. I have a bunch of other health problems creating issues, and require some of my time and attention. You might have noticed this cut up earplug in my mouth. I'm using this because my teeth sometimes get so sharp that they cut my gums or lips or inside of my mouth.
Currently, he lives off of the money he makes from his Patreon. This case reminded me of that one Russian YouTuber who is also engaging in self-surgery, trying to cut out cameras in his eye. If you haven't seen that, it's the first topic I talk about in episode 9 of this format.
I'm getting you on tape, okay? Say hi, please. Okay, see ya.
I've wanted to cover this case for a while because the footage, even though it was captured such a long time ago, is truly horrifying. Without context, it almost seems fake. Many of you should be familiar with the case Jesse Jo Stoddard. However, the videos made by the perpetrators throughout this entire case are truly something else. Jesse fell victim to what looks like a twisted reenactment of the slasher film Scream. The perpetrators, Brian Lee Draper and Tori Michael Adamczyk, both 16 years old at the time, recorded documentary-style videos, claiming that they wanted to do the same thing at the high school that they saw in the Scream horror movies. The target was Jesse, also 16 years old. What follows now is a very strategic assassination of Jesse, thoroughly documented, leaving no room for speculation that this was random or that they didn't know what they were doing. They state numerous times that they know that it's wrong to do it, but that they had to stick to the plan.
Have you seen Tori? He's supposed to be here at 7:30, and it's 8:19. He's an hour late. You don't even care, dude. Okay. September 27th, 2006. We're skipping last 4th hour. We're not even plan right now. I'm just like Cassie's family. She had number one. We have to stick with the plan. And she's perfect, so she's gonna die.
What follows is a car ride.
There should be no law against people. I know it's a wrong thing, but hell, you restrict somebody from it, they're gonna want it more.
We found our victim, and sad as it may be, she's our friend. But you know what? We all have to make sacrifices. Our first victim is going to be Cassie Stoddard. She's going to be alone in a big, dark house out in the middle of nowhere. How perfect can you get? I mean, like, holy shit, dude.
I'm horny just thinking about it.
Hell yeah.
Both guys decided to dress up in all black and wore white masks, entering her basement, which they unlocked themselves before.
September 22nd, 2006. We know there's lots of doors. There's lots of places to hide. I unlocked the back doors. It's all locked. Now we just gotta wait.
Both were armed with knives. They tried to lure her to the basement, but all attempts were unsuccessful. Instead, they went up to the living room. After taking her life, they quickly jumped back into their car.
I just Cassie. We just left her house. This is not a joke.
I'm shaking.
I stabbed her in the throat, and I saw her lifeless body just disappear. Dude, Cassie. That felt like something real. I mean, it went by so
up, we gotta get our act straight.
Okay.
During the interrogation, both guys were blaming each other for committing the act. Brian claimed that Tori commanded him to do it, after initially denying that he did it. They are obviously rotting in prison now, receiving mandatory sentences of life imprisonment, without the possibility of parole. A YouTuber named Urbex Hill uploaded a video last year documenting himself exploring the Robert Fulton School. He previously visited this school. In an earlier video from 2021 on his main channel, he added that there is a risk of being robbed or worse, since people use the abandoned school as shelter. For context, the Robert Fulton Elementary School is located in Cleveland, Ohio. It is classified as a historical building in the US National Register of Historic Places. It was built in 1935 and closed in 2013. The school was then sold to a company named Concordia Group. It is unclear if they resold the property, but some also speculate that there are redevelopment plans for the school. Currently, the school remains a breeding ground for criminals and the homeless to reside in. Eudoxia was well aware of this, but he still decided to visit it once more. In a video he uploaded in May on his main YouTube channel, he showed the interior of the school.
I'm definitely not walking on this floor.
While the building has been abandoned for over a decade now, it's still odd how much it has been decaying. He shows different parts of the school, namely the basement and a room, which is flooded with water. Eventually, he gets into a classroom, where he encounters multiple strange writings, making the impression that someone lives there.
Somebody's in there. Go there. Don't explore alone. Somebody lives in here.
After this, the following happens.
Yeah, somebody's been here. Look at that. Somebody's been living in here. Fuck! Somebody's in there.
Towards the end of his video, he showed certain parts of the footage he captured in slow motion. We can see that a different entity is walking around the building, presumably the same man that screamed at him. According to the scream we heard earlier, we can assume that the man residing in the building was equally as terrified as Eudoxia. It was probably a homeless person living there. While he didn't make any updates on the school, Eudoxia is still uploading exploration videos to this date. Check it out if you are interested.
你好，冷吗？不冷，我给你拿个衣服穿上吧。我给你拿个衣服穿上吧。
Dan Moomin was a TikTok creator who would post videos about his life and family of 8 children, including 7 boys and 1 girl. Although Dan lived in a small underprivileged area, he somehow managed to raise his children and maintain a peaceful life. Many on the Douyin platform appreciated his hard work and loved his videos, leading him to reach a follower count of 60,000 with just a few uploads. Donations kept pouring in, and many influencers began flying to his house to interview him and assist his family. Inspired by Dan's positive personality, a man who goes by the account name Jojo Brother Jiju decided to visit Dan. Jojo had already made multiple visits to Dan and his family before, and decided to drop by once again. However, this time, he made a shocking discovery. One of Dan's sons revealed that he and his brothers fed their mother, who lived nearby. But Jojo had never heard of Dan's wife before, and not just Jojo. Nobody had ever heard or seen Dan's wife, and most assumed that she must have just passed away. This is where it took a sinister turn. Jojo asked the little boy to take him to his mother, and what he discovered was truly shocking.
冷吗？不冷，我给你拿个衣服穿上吧。 我给你拿个衣服穿上吧，我给你拿个衣服去，好不好？我给你拿件衣服，我看你咱有爱心人士捐出衣服，我给你拿一件。你这饭凉了吗？饭凉了吗？你能不能我这样说话，你能不能听懂？我跟你说话能听懂吧？不能。是不是？是不是能听懂一点点？我跟你说话，不能是吧？不能把这筷子放下，这个饭还能吃吧
？Jojo saw a helpless woman being chained up her neck and locked with a padlock. The woman looked terrified, standing barefoot with no coat in the middle of the winter. It felt as if she had been there for a while, and she seemed confused and completely disconnected from reality. Even though it was hard to make out what she was saying, the woman pleaded to be free and told Jojo that she had been enslaved and kept as a prostitute here for years.
它都是小孩的衣服，没发现它能穿，这个还能做穿上，能暖和一些，能暖和一些。这个，哎呀，这个天气啊，大家可以看一看，大家看一看，这个天气是这个大家经历了什么？我们的爱心到哪里去了？
The clip posted by Jojo went viral, raising many questions and causing an uproar in the country. Many speculated that the woman could be a victim of human trafficking, and there could potentially be more victims involved. As the matter grew, officials in Jiangsu province issued a statement. According to them, the woman, surnamed Yang, had married Dan in 1998 and wasn't a victim of human trafficking. She had been diagnosed with mental illness and was under treatment. Dan himself came forward and made a video acknowledging that she was his wife, claiming that Yang suffered from dangerous mental health issues and would harm others around her, including her children. Because of this, for his children's safety, Yang was kept chained up. Officials would make a statement saying, "At present, she has already been treated and her family has been given further assistance to ensure they have a warm Lunar New Year." But something didn't seem to line up. If she was suffering mentally, why was she chained up in such inhumane conditions? Many attempted to visit Yang in order to help her and free her from this neglect, only to discover that the entire village in which Dan's family lived had been closed off. The owner of Jojo's brother's account was arrested, and his account had been deactivated. Keep in mind, this was the guy that exposed it. It was as if the government was trying to completely suppress this issue. However, due to massive international scrutiny and public pressure, the truth came out and it wasn't something anyone had hoped for. The woman who was chained up is not named Yang. Her real name is Zhao Huamei, and she was a victim of human trafficking. When Zhao was just 20 years old, she was sold to a human trafficking ring and was sold multiple times, finally being bought by Dan's father. Dan married the woman and used her as a baby breeding machine. Zhao was also not suffering from any mental illness. Instead, she was suffering from a seizure disorder. Every time Zhao had a seizure, Dan would beat and chain her up in the cold in an isolated hut behind his house, leaving her starving and in an inhumane condition like an animal. Zhao has since been rescued, and Dan has been arrested on charges of human trafficking. However, this wasn't the end, since Zhao wasn't the only victim of human trafficking in that area. Before being arrested, the owner of Jojo's brother's account found another woman being chained up just a few miles ahead in the same village.
20多年就这个样，在地下衣服都不能穿，他就用一个被子就这样把这个就很可怜的呀。这20多年了，我们拿东西来看了看他们，我们才知道，我们今天买的东西来的，这是他们的家庭，这是他的男人，我们都管了。
Honestly, this is just unbelievable. This woman, whose name is Zong, had also been a victim of human trafficking and was treated even worse than Zhao. Apparently, she was beaten so severely that she developed serious mental disorders and was lying there being chained up on her knees for 20 years. We don't know for certain what happened to Zong, as no information has since been made public about her, and her case is still under investigation. Okay, I will butcher the following name. I think it's Ricard Siagian. He was a YouTuber and a tattoo artist who was suffering from an extreme case of fatal insomnia. Although pretty rare, the disease can lead to a complete inability to sleep. In one of his videos, he explained how he has not slept for 4 months and is in desperate need of help.
I have not sleep, means I have total insomnia. So it's been 4 months and my body is deteriorating right now. because my immune system is falling from not able to sleep.
In the video, we can see how tired he looks and how he's unable to talk properly. According to Rickard, the condition began in the month of August, shortly after he joined a new job. He was suffering from a urinary tract infection, and it was very uncomfortable for him to work. In order to help him out, his boss gave him some medicine. Initially, Rickard felt better and was able to work. However, as the situation unfolded, he began noticing that something was off. He was unable to sleep and was suffering from terrible back pain.
After a while that, I thought I was not able to sleep because of my UTI or taking this medicine for a while. Not to realize after a while that when I stop this medication, I'm not able to sleep any longer.
Whenever he tried to sleep, he would experience a sudden electric shock back in his spine. Due to his condition, Rickard had to be completely bedridden, rendering him unable to do any work or follow his passion. According to him, the medicine he took contained an ingredient called nuclear fluoride that acted as a neurotoxin and crossed his brain's blood barrier, completely damaging his neurons.
This is looks like this medication which is contain nuclear fluoride that can cross my brain barrier. Probably this is what caused my problem now. So I want to check out of the damage to my mitochondria on the spinal cord and nerves.
At the time, Rickard was working in Philadelphia, but had to go back to Indonesia to visit his mother as she was sick. Once he arrived, he went to a doctor who prescribed him some medicine, but that didn't seem to work for him. The medicine would make him more anxious and worsen his situation.
I need life. I do need life. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. So please help me.
In the description, he would ask people for help as he needed to undergo a surgery, but he faced a shortage of money. He explained how he feels during the day. It reads, "Hi, my name is Rickard Siagian. I've been suffering from a health condition caused by a heavy neurotoxic protocol that caused damage to my system, such as mitochondrial depletion, etc. But the most debilitating and certainly life-threatening condition from it is complete inability to sleep. Since this injury happened, my brain became wide awake 24/7 for a year now, and I have lost natural sleeping onset because of the failure to register. When my tired and sleepy body keeps begging for more sleep, my system doesn't understand. Instead, it responds with constant neural pain and debilitating sensation and pressure deep along my spine and my chest and whole body. The feeling of being electrocuted, drained, vacuumed, mixed with the feeling of falling from a high place for hours in the entire day, noon, until evening, and often taken with sudden surge as a sleeping rejection feedback. This whole reaction is the most tormenting and abusive pain I've ever felt in my life, and still bearing it until now every day. I've tried to cope with the situation with positive thought, but I'm just a human. Only one thing that I could wish for as my last hope is pluripotent stem cell treatment, but the challenge is money. God, I would have my both legs chopped off as an exchange if I could sleep for at least 3 hours at night without substances. That's how desperate I am for sleep. Following the video, Rickard would start getting attention and would begin documenting himself as his conditions deteriorated. As time went on, the videos got more and more creepy. In the videos, we can clearly see Rickard trying to sleep, but as soon as he's about to doze off, he abruptly wakes up. The medicine he took has been known for its extreme side effects such as nerve damage and paralysis. Eventually, Rickard would post his final video, 5 days before his death, on the 9th of December 2016, after going 15 months without sleep. Just imagine not being able to sleep for over a year. This is an extremely crazy case. This YouTube video was shared on the subreddit Morbid Reality. It happened in a village named Jalam in Somalia, a country east of Africa. Towards the end of 2021, multiple channels uploaded a video where a man is tied up and another man is standing next to him. In the video itself, there are 2 different locations and 2 different men talking to the camera.
taariikhdu markeeda 14 bishii 7 2020 maxkamadda darajada koowaad.
bismillaahi raxmaani raxiim waxaan ahay caawin cabdi caakini waxaan halkan ka cadaynayaa maanta oo bishu ay tahay 17 bishii 10 2020.
In the first location, we see a man in front of a green building, whereas the other man is in the desert, and multiple other men can be seen in the background. They can be seen digging. This video appears to be a bit too normal. The scene that we can see in the thumbnail cannot be seen in the footage. To add to this, the title of this video reads, Garowe, the killer who killed his mother, was released today. Now this certainly caught people's attention. Redditors found a second version, which is almost twice as long as the first video. Here we can clearly see the man.
darajada koowaad ee gobolka Nugaal ayaa 14 bishii 7 2000 oo hooyadii isku dilay tuula Jalam ee gobolka Nugaal geystay 17 bishii 6 2020 maanta oo ay taariikhdu.
This further led to numerous media articles detailing what this entire thing is about. The name of the tied up man is Farah Abdi Muhammad. He took the life of his own mother. He allegedly was under the influence and didn't know what he was doing. The man that can be seen next to Farah is his own brother, Arvin Abdi Muhammad. His brother was given the task to end his own brother's life as a punishment for taking their mother. This was not his own decision. He had 5 other siblings who agreed, and he also had support from the authorities. According to Arvin, he decided to film this to teach the community a lesson that anyone who takes their mom's life will go through the same fate that his own brother needs to go through. The people in the background digging now obviously make a lot more sense. They are digging his grave. I have to give credit to Nick Crowley for the following topic. I heard about this initially through his video. I'll only briefly talk about it, so make sure to watch a more in-depth version of it on his channel. Suzanne Eaton was a 59-year-old US-American scientist and professor of molecular biology working in Dresden, Germany.
Ja, ich bin ein bisschen aufgeregt. Genetik sind folgendes. Man stört ein Gen, man wartet und sieht, was passiert. Das ist wie wenn man in einem Dorf ist und will wissen, wie funktioniert das Dorf. Und man nimmt dann eine Person, schickt ihn in Urlaub und fragt, was ist falsch jetzt im Dorf? Wir haben kein Brot. Okay, er war der Bäcker. So das ist Genetik.
While you can clearly tell that German is definitely not her native language, it was still quite good. She would talk at events, talking about molecular cell biology. She disappeared on July 2nd, 2019. She was last seen playing the piano in the hotel lobby, where she was attending an Orthodox academy in Greece. Almost a week later, on July 8, Greek police found her body inside a World War II bunker. She passed away the same day of her disappearance. Reason of death: asphyxiation, a condition where the body is experiencing a deficient supply of oxygen which arises from abnormal breathing. Her body and face was full of injuries and broken bones. There were clear marks of her being awarded. It was clear to investigators that this was no accident. Someone had done this to her. When police investigated her hotel room, and the only items missing were her sports gear like shirt and running shoes. Doing sports was nothing unordinary, since she was an athlete and runner, even having a black belt in Taekwondo. Therefore it is believed that she disappeared while she was on a run. On the scene, investigators realized that there are no footprints of Suzanne anywhere near the entrance or in the bunker. Instead, they found tire marks, making it likely that she was actually transported into the cave by someone else, who then drove away, since there was no car near the cave. After checking some of the security cameras in the area, they would find a car heading in the direction of the bunker. The suspect was 27-year-old Giannis Paraskakis, who was a married father of 2. During the interrogation, he would deny being involved in this case, also saying that he didn't even know the location of the bunker. This is finally where we come to the YouTube aspect of this case. Giannis had a YouTube channel featuring him doing some form of Chinese martial art, either Tai Chi or Qigong. This channel currently only has 3 uploads, all of them featuring the same thing, though he had more videos featured. He deleted all of his other videos when he got arrested, but why? The other videos feature him during other activities, like hanging out with friends. One set of videos stands out. His series where he explores a bunker. The same bunker where Suzanne's body was dumped into. Just a reminder, he told police that he didn't even know the location of this bunker, so a clear contradiction. During a second round of questioning, Giannis admits to everything. He saw Suzanne jogging, decided to step on the gas of his car and strike her. While she was lying down, he decided to step on the gas again, this time striking the head. But this wasn't enough for this absolute monster of a person. He left his car and stabbed her multiple times. He loaded her up in his trunk, drove to the bunker and did what I described earlier. Keep in mind that Suzanne was alive up until the very end. He then left her in the bunker, where she would suffocate due to abnormal breathing. As for his motives, he claims that he was possessed by a demon. One could assume that he said this to get a lower punishment, but it was unsuccessful. He was sentenced to life in prison. This also wasn't a one-off thing for Giannis. Multiple women claim that he tried to strike them with his car. Police asked him why he did it, to which he replied that he would hit women he liked with his car. This doesn't really sound like someone who's possessed by a demon. And to no one's surprise, the police didn't do anything until it was way too late. Like, how many red flags do you need?